Once again, it is time to see who will be baptized by violence and physical fortitude and mental endurance, where we will see a steel cage match if someone quits once again, advantage to possibly gain in a stipulation in the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament, a ton of money on the line, and 1 year later, does somebody get much overdue payback and causes the top 1% to finally lose some dividends, proving my further point. There's been so much more as we come together here for the Prudential Center virtually this Saturday to bring to you a lovely City discussion on AEW Full Gear, the November original Top 4 Classic, before we head into the Continental Classic and the Thanksgiving holiday. So welcome once again, folks, to the discussion and the reactions. Let's go ahead and get right into this another test of professional wrestling endurance. Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to another edition of Simply Predicting. You know what this is. I am the Superman of the Superman, the voice of that's for a great fall professional wrestling. Damn it. And my name is Noah Foster. And thank you all for tuning in, whether live or on demand. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. You already will find that I have posted the form on my social medias, as well as pinned it here on my Simple Brands chat stream, as well as putting everyone else's live chat as well. So make sure you get your predictions in. There will be due 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday night. As of course, we focus on the main card, but we will have a hybrid coverage of the tailgate brawl. I'd like to discuss that, as well as also preview some of the biggest matches here at AEW Full Gear come Saturday night as well. Hope you all enjoy, and again, you all continue to make the passion persist. So I hope that again, everybody enjoys the second to last event of this year's AEW Predictions League for those that are still in it. Before we get into things, here are the leaderboards. White Frick, shout out to Greg, Kyle, and King A Train, King Kieta, Chaz Rots, and Rob Grigg that are holding down the top 6 spots in the 3 front pole positions with ties, but still anybody's game across that league. And believe it or not, no DQ is not tribalistic or one-dimensional, despite what everyone might think of them. There are people that do believe in All Elite Wrestling and have fun with it as well. Here's to the All Elite League, for I am All Elite for life. It is what it is when it comes to somebody that actually looks at more than just a dumb movie in professional wrestling. What do I know? And again, stay tuned for me and Papa Gino with predictions post-mortem following this weekend's event. All right, before we get into things, let's go around the horn and see what everyone feels about this upcoming Saturday's pay-per-view. First and foremost, the man represents his NXT. He just got done with the call of night 1 of Gold Rush, and it's great to have him back here, not only in a better mindset, but in a better place. Quite literally, the Renegade Wrestling, JJ Williams. JJ, how are you, and how you feeling about Full Gear this Saturday?
I am doing well. It is good to be here. It is good to be in a better place, both literally and mentally. I've been out of the loop so long, I'm honestly not looking forward to Full Gear
Mm.
just because I've missed a lot. Last week's Blood and Guts was the first AEW I've seen in a very long time. So it's hard to be eager to see a pay-per-view when you've missed the last month's worth of build to it. So,
Justified.
and especially knowing that we're probably going to end up with 15 belts Monet come the end of it, because Chase U is far more accredited than Chris Statlander as a world champion.
I took a flu shot today, so I'm going to be the civil, simple man, as I have to be integral on these watch alongs. So I'm going to let your comment pass on that. But I, of course, respect your opinions, and we will see what happens. Also, Chase U is unaccredited, but I wouldn't want any other less from you. It's good to see you, and I respect your honesty. Thank you, JJ. And from one half of the VIPs of the Super Liable Studios, one of the biggest, Emmanuel, good to see you once again. How you feel about AEW Full Gear this coming Saturday?
I mean, it's kind of unfair to put this pay-per-view to compare to Blood and Guts, because you think that this is the argument with War Games that, Lethal Lockdown, like in any type of match, that type of environment like that, and then you have a pay-per-view. This feels more of a random dynamite than a pay-per-view, but I'm not sure how everybody else feels about it. But I just feel like there's some matches that are triggering that are pay-per-view worthy, but It's AEW. They always deliver, so this is going to be a top-notch event. So my expectations is 8.5 at least of what they could do and provide for this pay-per-view, and let's see what happens, because I'm not ready for Mercedes to win the title. So I hopefully Tony knows best. If not, uh, hell's frozen over.
I'll say I'm just gonna say this real quick. For anybody that thinks that the self-made, self-absorbed, bigger airhead than the size of Kim Kardashian's ass, overrated, top 1% prima donna, joint smoking princess is gonna be Chris Statlander for the big one, while she has 250 small ones. Y'all are smoking something worse than crack that you accuse Tony Khan of, and you're all fucking idiots. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And I'm going to call out Monet and you all on that shit and leave you all to that thought. And you all can bite my ass if you think otherwise, including JJ, who pissed me off already. But I wouldn't want him any other way. And I respect your opinion. Also, fuck Monet. She does not deserve it. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm tired and I'm literally running at 1% after taking a flu shot. And I hope that this conversation remedies my condition because I do enjoy AW more than most companies on the Western Front that are owned by a billionaire. Oh, wait, there's only one other. There you go. And I respect that because, of course, we covered the Dynamite Collision last night, me and Walter, and it felt like a great go home to the pay-per-view. Awesome action. And again, to try and compare Blood and Guts to this pay-per-view, it was 3 matches with over 2 hours almost of wrestling, where we got none matches. We're going to probably get over 4 hours of pro wrestling. It's a huge swing. But again, I respect everybody's opinion. All right. Well, thank you for that, Manuel. Certainly now, well, I guess I'll bring him in here because he also decided to bring in. So I'll acknowledge him momentarily, Avatar Man. But in the meantime, also joining in once again, a regular lately of City Predicting and a regular here in the Suburban Studios, usually in the chat for Saturday Shenanigans, Charles Schultz. Charles, good to hear you. How you feel about AEW Full Gear, my friend?
I'm feeling good. But I'm also on the same boat with JJ earlier. So there you go.
All right. Fair enough. And again, I like how he truly keeps it simple. It's almost like he literally has learned the ways of the simple man. Respect. All
Sometimes.
right. Sometimes and other times not. Fair enough. And last but not least, one half of the Canadian Connection. Shout out to our Canadian friend Ash. If you haven't already, subscribe to Batty for Wrestling and stay tuned for her and Attila to start a pop culture podcast. It's good to hear Nick Ferrantes, and shout out to Mrs. Ferrantes, who is learning what professional wrestling is and brings her own humorous takes. Nick, good to hear you. How you feel about AEW Full Gear? Thanks for being part of the show.
No, what's going on, buddy? What's wrong? What are you not feeling well tonight?
Yeah, I had a flu shot this morning. I literally woke up 10 minutes ago, so I'm a little bit out of it.
It's okay, man. Listen, I saved you. I saved you the agony.
Right now, you need to save your phone reception because I hear you are partly wet.
I don't know. Are we good? Can you all hear me? Y'all hear me?
We're good. You now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Charles, what's up, buddy? JJ, always a pleasure. Emmanuel, it's always good to see you, buddy.
There we go.
We got AEW Full Gear this weekend. Should be. I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good show. But you know, once we deep dive more, we'll talk about some wrestling.
Yeah, that's pretty much the plan. And shout out to the 20 of you so far that's putting your predictions, including not limited to Daniel, Draco, Walter Cruz, Jeff Chadwick, Sienna Chanel, Mikey, Cass, Darren, Dwayne Atkinson, Dave Scheffler, and of course to all the others. Again, predictions are final 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Saturday night. And shout out to No DQ that did their predictions video earlier. So yeah, No DQ as Aaron Riff. He endures this because he actually makes living off of it. As know that he'll be watching it, he'll be reviewing it. He's crazier than me, but mad respect. All right, well, again, you all know how I feel about AEW pay-per-views. 9 out of 10 times they don't miss. Full Gear, I used to hold up as one of my annual favorites, but now the fact there's like 9 pay-per-views a year, I'm curious to see where this stands. We've already had so many great matches of pay-per-views this year. JD, I did see your hand. You got something to say real quick?
I think it's really telling that an AEW fanatic like Nick isn't really looking forward to Full Gear.
I must rebuttal on you on that one, kind sir. Honestly, and I keep going back to it. And I know it's already. I know that our very lovely friend Ropes has also said it too. Ever since MOB started, and I know it's been over for a couple weeks now. It's just I haven't really gotten back into it. I think Blood and Guts was the first show since before baseball that I've actually watched an entire show. So it's like for me, like I haven't been watching it on the reg. So
Fair.
yeah.
Again, as somebody that is all elite since day zero and do watch it on the reg, of course, I'm looking forward to it. And again, to our impromptu watch along, I know it that surprised everybody. Walter, you crazy madman. That was some of the most fun I had in a long damn time, probably since Blood and Guts. And again, it's a different type of show. It's the annual pre-Thanksgiving tradition. And of course, we're going to head into the Continental Classic next week. And stay tuned, folks. We are covering Thanksgiving Dynamite as a tradition next week, Wednesday night. But I figure without further ado, Sleeping Disney community, palace, AEW enthusiasts, sickles, diehards, hardcores, simple people like me. Let's get right into it. So again, AEW Full Gear comes this weekend exclusively on HBO Max for HBO subscribers. $39 plus tax. Probably cheaper than most stuff you can actually do anymore in this wrestling business. So I'm going to go to a show for the other company. Again, this will be coming from the Prudential Center, a regular spot for AEW, of course, as we know. And again, it will be this coming Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Prior to that, there will be on YouTube a 0-hour pre-show discussion. Most likely with RJ City, Renee Paquette, and Double J, Jeff Jarrett. However, there also will be some action on TNT and on HBO Max for those that want to get a taste of what the AEW style brings. And if you're a fan of Costco, I still don't understand why this is a thing, but it is what it is. Before we get into the main card, as of course we don't acknowledge pre-show matches anymore in any predictions leagues because of the integrity of the value of pay-per-view and even PLD matches for that matter. Here is your tailgate brawl that we will be covering and probably previewing some of the biggest matches during the commercial breaks. We have $200,000 on the line at Tailgate Brawl 4 with the Bang Bang Gang, Big Bill, Brian Keefe, the Unacclaimed, and the Outrunners. The CMO Trio Shimons is on the line. So Sky Team, Masquerade Dorado, Mystico, and of course, running mates take on the Don Callis' family. Of course, Kazuchika Okada, Hechicero, and as Don Callis said on Wednesday night, the return of Ikonoza Takeshita, Kazuchika Okada is not happy about this. I sense something bigger is going to happen than just the value of the championships. If you're wondering how this match happened, Okada beat Masquerade Dorado in Double Jeopardy on Wednesday Night Collision Dynamite. So that's why that match is a thing. And Eddie Keys and Hook continued their winning ways as a tag team towards the tag team ranks, this time taking on the Workhorsemen. And as I said before, we have, you're looking at that right, Big Justice and QT Marshall, Boom and Doom, as they're calling themselves, taking on Roppongi Vice after being attacked during last time we covered the tailgate brawl at Wrestle Dream. Again, that is your tailgate brawl, so stay tuned for more coverage of that this Saturday. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into serious business. And speaking of serious business and serious money, Dr. Evo style, let's talk about the biggest money match in AEW history for, how do I say this eloquently as possible? $1 million. Because Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express are taking on Josh Alexander and the Young Bucks. And you are reading that correct. This is not Howie Mandel running Deal or No Deal. This is not Meredith Vieira or Regis Fielding, God rest his soul, who wants to be a millionaire. This isn't even those overrated, short-run, rigged reality shows on Fox. This is a $1 million trios match created by Don Callis. What the fuck? Anyway, Kenny Omega, of course, has been at odds and with Don Callis and Jurassic Express as they kind of bury the hatchet on the past. Of course, now the Young Bucks are broke as a joke, and everyone is kind of humoring it. But Don Callis is trying to get them to join their family. This past Wednesday on Dynamite Collision, we saw the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander beat Skyflight, Dante and Darius Martin and Scorpio Scott. And of course, they were waiting to see if the Young Bucks was going to officially answer. out came Kenny Omega, who has been extremely apoplectic with Josh Alexander's recent actions, calling himself a walking weapon of destruction. After breaking Maka Nakazawa's ankle, and also, of course, Kota Ibushi's ankle, who will be out indefinitely. As Kenny Omega came out Wednesday night, and the Young Bucks were reluctant to put the BT trigger on their former elite running mate, we've seen over the last few weeks how Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have not gone into altercations with each other. How time softens all wounds, depending on how you look at it. And in the meantime, Jungle Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, who apparently knows how to use a vacuum, they have now learned to coexist with Kenny Omega. And now we're going to see these three men together and possibly a final answer on the Don Callis family as we know it. I got to imagine if the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander wins, they will join the Don Callis family. If Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express win, and of course the Young Bucks have a mixed history at Full Gear, winning the AEW Tag Team Champions during the pandemic, losing to Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho and throwing a hissy fit, I believe that was 2 years ago. Of course, the Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks came back to carry on Wayward Son by Kansas to be involved in the AEW Trios Championships. That led the Best of 7 series that JJ saw at the Fabulous Forum, etc., etc. It's one of those things. I look at this match, money tag aside, I can do a lot with $1 million, so I will say that. I do think we need to try and finally bury the hatchet on the Don Callis family agenda towards Kenny Omega, because this is kind of getting ridiculous. If there's some things I'm going to say that are flaws in AEW, Don Callis on the mic, Mercedes Moné on the mic, and Ricochet on the mic. And I'm just going to leave it at that because that's not what we're here to talk about. So again, you all know how Sleeping Digging goes. Someone's going to open the ballot. We're going to get a prediction out here, and we're going to see if we agree or disagree. If anyone disagrees, they'll be able to bring their own sub-tangent. If everyone agrees unanimously, then we move on. So that being said, we're going right around the horn, and that means the guy right next to me, Avatar Man for Undercredited University, JJ Williams, will kick things off. And it includes a couple of his favorite people that he's known since probably childhood. So this should be subtle and fun. So JJ, Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander, Don Callis family itinerary aside, $1 million on the line. What do you think about this? What is your final answer? What is your prediction on this trios match?
Well, Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega are going to get the W here because if the Young Bucks win, that means Josh Alexander has to win. And I don't think Josh Alexander has won Jack Diddley shit really since coming to AEW. At least not anything of importance. And definitely not anything on a pay-per-view. So we can't break that tradition here.
Eloquently said. All right. So that
Stop me when I'm telling lies.
No lies to that bad. And to your point, I also agree. And by the way, before I open up to everybody else, again, to the 20 that put in the prediction so far, it's unanimous for Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. Might I add, Jurassic Express already are in possession of $600,000. As we, of course, saw them win $500,000 in a big money tag match against the Young Bucks at Wrestle Dream. Just putting that out there for y'all to remember. So that being said, the ballot's been set for Kenny Omega and the Jurassic Express. Does anyone have a disagreement towards this? Going once, going twice. Really? And here I thought it was going to be one of the easiest matches of the night. All right, Charles, I acknowledge your disagreement ballot. Why do you think that the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander are going to win this? And do you believe that this will mean the Young Bucks will join the Don Callis family? If nothing else, they probably will be by force because Don Callis is going to force their hand.
I'm more leaning towards that. Force only for because at the end of this, I do expect the Bucks to reunite with Kenny. It's gonna happen, but it's probably gonna happen way later. So for now, I see the Young Bucks winning this with Josh Alexander.
Well, it's
And
not
I'll be crazy enough to say Kenny gets pinned by Josh Alexander.
Damn. Well, I
They
mean,
set up the one-on-one match, and then we're good to go.
I mean, you know, there is that. I mean, again, Kano Classic, Josh Alexander might be in it. Kenny Omega, the jury is out based on the diverticulitis. There's a reason why.
So I highly doubt Kenny's going to be in anything like that.
Yeah, I agree.
If Kenny from years ago could, but not now. Not right now.
That's a fair sub-tangent. And again, Josh Alexander did apply the ankle lock on Kenny Omega this past Wednesday, so he is not coming in here at 100%. But again, the tensions are going to be there between the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. That's going to be the story of this match. But I just don't see the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander winning this, especially after the kerfuffle of disagreement in the Wednesday Trios match. While they did win, it was Josh that basically took the helm and the pride. But okay, with that being said, that was a fair analysis. But I don't think no one else agrees with you here because you were the only one that raised your hand. So that being said, it is 4 for Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express, and I'm sure Ash agrees. Hello to our Canadian friend Ash. Hope that work and everything's doing well. You're not too tired. Again, just take it easy this evening, my friend. Make sure you get your predictions in. And 4 for Kenny Omega and Jurassic Express. Where 1 went with the Don Callis family's future members, possibly in the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander. All right. Well, thank you for that, Nick, and good job, everybody. See, this is how simple it can be sometimes when I don't have to deal with too much chaos, and also I'm working on 5%. Amanda, I do see you got your hand up. What you got to say real quick?
Again, who's paying this $1 million? Is Tony Khan just dropping $1 million? Like, where do I sign this, Tony? I'll gladly participate in this match for $1 million and get my ass beat for free, like for $1 million. So thank you.
So Manuel,
Call me Tony Khan.
So Manuel has willingly decided to show what he would do for $1 million versus what he's willing to do for a Klondike bar. Okay then, Charles, I see your hand up. What? Go. Okay, hold on.
Well, no, go ahead. Call on Charles. He did raise his hand the proper way. I just tried to pipe in.
I'm signed with Manuel. I'm having the same thought process as Manuel.
All right.
Shit,
So
what I was going to say is what I've always wondered is it $1 million that has to get split, or does each member of the team get $1 million?
It's split.
It's $1 million split.
It's always split in money matches. It's always split.
See, all the more reason for the Young Bucks to lose then, because they're only going to walk away with $333,000. That's not going to help them.
Well, I
They'll
mean, we
lose
saw
that in a week.
No. They still,
Between their
the budget.
shoe collection.
They got $70,000 on average that they spend apparently on shoes, and the pyro is about with the entrance like $50,000. We saw their.
They still owe money from using Hanson that time. They're in the negative.
That's fair, honestly.
Who gets $1?
Nick, you had something to say real quick? I saw you on mute.
I'll be honest. Hopefully, after Full Gear, we don't get any more money matches. I get it. I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the story and the context in which they're using it. But Tony has a very bad habit in overdoing things and overplaying certain ideas.
We literally have 2 of these matches on this show. There's a $200,000 match on the freaking tailgate brawl, and then $1 million match on the main card. What are we doing, Tony?
He's and I say this with all love, he's killing. Like, I get the storyline. I get why he's doing it. I get the participants involved. I get the story.
Yep.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, back-to-back pay-per-views as well. I've heard of sports competitions and big money fights, but this is effing ridiculous. The last time $1 million mattered on my television screen was when Hy Mandel was trying to give it out on Deal or No Deal. I haven't believed in $1 million being of value since.
Yeah,
anyway.
like it's getting a little bit ridiculous. And there's a lot of things I'm gonna say, and this is maybe goes to JJ's point of, I know that Noah, me and Noah's probably 1 and I'm number 3 in the AEW fandom department for us.
Yeah, Ash is probably there in 2 or 4. The jury is out again. She works for charity, constantly works. God bless her. Continue.
But you're gonna hear me say this a lot during the show. Just, Tony, why do we need this again? Like, there's gonna be a lot of times during this show and this predicting that you're gonna get that. Bucks remain broke.
The broke Bucks.
I'm over it. We need to. It's time to flip the page on this story. I'm over it. I'm over broke Bucks. Loved it. It was great. It was funny. I'm over it.
Yeah,
they're not even the young American Bucks anymore. They're the young Canadian Bucks, because we know the Canadian dollar is worth less than the American dollar.
That's Also accurate. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that being said,
Love you,
why?
Nick. Love you, Ash.
Yeah, and see, and I was like coming. I was
Damn.
totally planning a trip to come out and see you and everybody in SoCal. Fuck you guys.
I didn't say anything. And
Damn,
We'll
damn.
see you in April in Vegas, Nick.
the jury is out on that. Prayers with passions, and I already got only $137, where 100 that's going towards phone bill, food, and transportation to my doctor's appointment tomorrow. But that being said, the value of a dollar aside, the value of this match is questionable. But the number one thing that needs to happen, this is the last we do at the Don Callis family on the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega itinerary for a while. Because, like Nick, sometimes you do get tired of the same old song running over and over and over and over and over again, especially when it's overpriced and it's being used pretty much constantly all the time. And I'm not just talking about AEW either. All right, moving on. Good job, everybody. Let's go ahead and move forward into a match not regarding money, but also just to get Don Callis out of the itinerary. You want to talk about something being ran again? Are you ready to see him man up and possibly sacrifice his freedom? God help me if this man doesn't win this title. It's the TNT Championship with Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher once again. You're looking at Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher 6. This time in a no disqualification match. And this is their third singles match this year alone. And you see the itinerary here has changed. Mark Briscoe says he only needs one more shot. Well, guess what? In this shot, if Kyle Fletcher wins, Mark Briscoe joins the Don Callis family. As we saw, Mark Briscoe and the conglomeration did win Blood and Guts, thankfully, last week Wednesday on Dynamite by crazy-ass means, despite the fact he was attacked prior to the fact. And apparently Kyle Fletcher said he had nothing to do with that. We saw the battle of the Marks, Mark Davis and Mark Briscoe, this past Saturday Collision, and Mark Briscoe got a dose of revenge. In a very tense promo backstage on Wednesday Night Dynamite Collision, Mark Briscoe says he's going to do his family proud, the conglomeration proud, and teach Kyle Fletcher a lesson. If y'all remember Full Gear last year, the TNT title did change hands. Kyle Fletcher has been one of the most consistent TNT champions since Miro, Darby Allin, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. In fact, if Kyle Fletcher wins this match comes Saturday, he will hold the strongest and break the record for most defenses in a single TNT championship run. It's Mark Briscoe's freedom versus Kyle Fletcher's continued legacy to be the greatest TNT champion of all time. The bottom line, do you think there's finally going to be a new face of TNT, or will there truly be a new member of the Don Callis family? And will you say his full name and still TNT champion? Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher 6. The record stands currently right now, Kyle Fletcher 3, Mark Briscoe 2. After Kyle Fletcher won with a low blow at Wrestle Dream, and of another very competitive match. These two have brought the worst and the best out of each other. This is one of those rivalries where honestly each man has man up and stepped up each time they face one another. But again, like Nick said earlier, something's got to give here. It doesn't get more of a definitive point than this. Tie the record, win the title. That's my subtle opinion. But let's see what you all think. And this time it starts with Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, do you think there's going to be, once again, at Full Gear, as we saw 1 year ago, a new face of TNT, and is his name Mark Briscoe? Who you got winning this match?
This is a tough one, to be honest, because I'm liking Kyle Fletcher's title run right now, but at the same time, I was seeing before that we came on, I was seeing the No DQ review. Check it out if you haven't yet. After this, you could check it out. Cheap plug. Cheap plug. Yep. Anyways, they mentioned a good point. Like, if Kyle Fletcher wins, this means Mark Briscoe is going to be like John Cena joining the Nexus type of snake. That he's going to be sour, not trying to help the Callis family. Is going to be trying to destroy the Callis family within type of storyline? Like, do we really want to see that from AEW? I'm not sure, to be honest, but let me near. So, and I really don't want to see that kind of storyline, to be honest. That's why I'm going for Mark Briscoe to win this title. Hopefully, there's more meaning of him winning lately and getting pushed and pushed and pushed. He's in the way up So I only see great positives from this guy, and Tony Khan did a good job trying to boost him into the title picture. So that's why I'm going for Mark Briscoe, and he doesn't join the Don Callis family.
All right, fair enough. Well, that being said, you also will be surprised, Manuel. You're not the only one that may have thought this was hard. It's not unanimous, but you set the balance for the panel that you have Mark Briscoe being the new face of TNT. And 65% of the current 20 that have submitted their predictions agree with you, while 35% believe that Kyle Fletcher will retain. Well, let's go ahead and see what else thinks before we move on. Are we all in agreement that Mark Briscoe will win? Well, I didn't even need to finish my sentence. And wow. Okay. Well, either we got some varying opinions here on this, or Emmanuel, you and I might be the odd ones out here in favor of 3-2, just like the record. This should be interesting, but I like the fact that this match actually has some context that people want to talk about. We'll start with Jared since I saw his hand first. Then we will go with Nick and then Charles as he came on screen. So, JJ, what do you guys say regarding this? Do you actually think Kyle Fletcher does retain? We've already seen him defend against Tomoshi Hiromu Takahashi, your boy Scorpio Sky this past Saturday on Collision, Mark Briscoe, as I said earlier, and he's already had 8 successful defenses. He's also had a shot at the AEW Men's World Championship, which makes me believe he has a strong upside to be one of the biggest people to carry this company. But Mark Briscoe and the WBDD nonsense aside from a long time, it would be nice to see Mark Briscoe finally win gold in AEW, let alone the TV championship of Warner Bros. Discovery's channel. I'm just saying that'd be kind of funny. So why do you either disagree or what do you have to add further to this? Go ahead, sir. You're muted.
See, I was all ready for Mark Briscoe to win the title here.
Oh, okay.
But you went and fucked all that up. When you gave your glorious introduction to this and you said that if Kyle Fletcher retains, he will have the most defenses successful in a reign.
Yes.
Tony Khan is all about history making. Tony Khan is all about breaking records. Shadies. Sorry.
You're
Make
fine.
sure I didn't get anywhere.
The cold season. Continue.
For that reason and that reason alone, Kyle Fletcher will retain.
He's going with the stats. That boy Mike. We'll see if he
This is where stat is where it's at. Not in that title match.
JJ?
This is where the stats are where it's at.
I'm just going to leave the man alone because, again, there's no point of me showing Hanon levels of anger and biased visceral nature because I am above that, for I am a simple man. But, okay, I respect your opinion. Well, that being said, we got partisan opinions here, and even Ash is torn here. The fact that the TNT Championship right now is torn in debate shows how Kyle Fletcher has really elevated, in my opinion. And, yeah, I mean, Nick, it is one of those things where Tony Khan is about stats, is about history, but he also has broken convention when it comes to 50-50 booking multiple times over in AEW. Who got the win last time? Oh, yeah, the protostar, Kyle Fletcher. In fact, their 2 singles matches this year, Kyle's won both. So third time the charm, in my opinion. I'm just saying. Sometimes JJ data is not the only metric you need to follow. This isn't WWE, thank Christ. That being said, Nick, what you got to say regarding this? Go ahead and add your thoughts.
I'm taking it in a different route than JJ.
Do tell.
We are in the business. We are in the TV business. We are, and as much as people want to moan and groan, we are here to create weekly episodic television. If
Yes.
Mark Briscoe wins, where does Mark Briscoe go from here? Nowhere. If you want to, we're here to talk. Listen, we all know that the AEW don't tell story marks out there who criticize AEW for not telling stories. Well, here's a story that you can tell. You can have Mark Briscoe lose this title, lose this match. You can have him join the Don Callis family. He can be the whipping boy for Don and Kyle. Have him do heinous things. Have him be that that pawn that you just throw away. have that. Listen, we have a pay-per-view coming up in December called what? World's End. Why not build to Mark just getting bloodied and beaten and put out to pasture by Don Callis every single week till we get to the point where Mark goes, you know what? I had enough. I will put my career on the line. And you can have a title versus career match at World's End where Mark wins it. And you know what? You can even have Mark's family play into this. You can have all of his kids maybe come out one Dynamite and tell Don, we want our dad back. We're here to create compelling content. This is a perfect opportunity to do that. So
Yeah.
I have Kyle winning. I hope that Tony sees it and Tony can tell this story in the best way possible and continue telling this story. And yeah, I would have Kyle lose and then run. I mean, yeah, rematch galore, but have him run it back at World's End, and you do title for career, and that's where Mark wins it to start the new year.
I appreciate the outlook, but also the context of story, movie versus in-ring competition, AEW versus WWE. I hear the word story, and sometimes you people piss me the fuck off because you don't know whether you're watching a movie or whether you're watching something that's competitive in a ring. And AEW doesn't tell stories. Get the fuck out of here. Learn how to watch the product. That being said, if Mark Briscoe wins, the record will be tied 3-3, Charles. So yeah, maybe they could go best of 7 at World's End, and Kyle Fletcher is apoplectic. That's also another way I look at this. So at the end of the day, outlooks aside, I still believe that Mark Briscoe is winning. You want to talk about the story context? These guys have been in this soiree of one-upsmanship since last year. And like I said, this is their third match this year. The record stands 2-1. And again, as Safet pointed out in the chat, for those that do watch how wrestling business works in the world of self-proclaimed sports entertainment, who stood tall Wednesday night? Oh, yeah, the champion. Gee, I wonder what that usually dictates while you're trying to also try and break and also go against convention. In AEW, sometimes they surprise you when you least fucking expect it. So that being said, Charles, wrap this thing out. Why do you have Kyle Fletcher here? What comments do you want to add in Mark Briscoe pursuit to become a TNT champion? Go ahead.
One, I have Kyle winning this. Due to as soon as you mentioned the records and everything else, that was already a foregone conclusion. Then, even though after the match was announced, I already had Kyle win the match anyway.
Oh, did you?
Yep. Because no respect to Mark, but he ain't getting that title from him. After this, so Mark Briscoe joins Don Kyle's family, it'll be somebody else lined up to go after Kyle next. And it's probably going to be a member of the conglomeration. Who? I don't know. Maybe freaking Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh, Kyle's again. All right.
Hey, why not?
I mean, hey,
Strap the rocket. Why not? Give him,
Kyle and Kyle had a great match at Daly's Place where Kyle beat Kyle, even though Kyle had him in no man's heel hook multiple times, but Kyle, the flying leg lariat, was able to drop Kyle with that Protostar Brainbuster. I also want to add some other subtle tensions in the Don Callis family when it comes to Protocol, as Okada talking about how he and Kyle Fletcher could stand tall as champions, and unlike Takeshita, I have your back. And again, Takeshita and Okada will be involved in that trios match on the Tailgate Brawl. I think that's going to also be a very telling sign of the Don Callis family itinerary and how well it goes or how bad it goes during the pay-per-view. Card placement and match placement also matters too. So there's a lot more to this than just the fact it's Mark Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher 6, and Mark versus Kyle 3 in this year alone. Again, I respect y'all's opinions, but I also love the fact that we're not just unanimous parakeets saying the same damn shit. And we do have an interest in this. But either way, I'm hoping that them boy find the man that wins his first time in AEW. Before I move on, I do see JJ has his hand up. JJ, what do you want to say real quick?
If we get the Battle of the Kyles again, can we have Kyle Broflovsky do commentary?
I don't know if they can hire him.
Yes.
JJ. Bob Cloud as Tony Schiavone honored that voice of wrestling who recently passed. And before we move on, I also want to give a fair shout out of healing prayers of love and strength to, of course, who we all know as Rebel, who is going through some extremely crazy stuff right now with cancer and lymphopenia. I wish her nothing but the best in her recovery. Please take care, Rebel. All right. Moving on from there. Great conversation, everybody. Let's go ahead into a grudge match of two bastards and fucking crazy dickheads, shall we? And Nick, you kick things off here. Because after a man was sent through fire in what Pac called his magnum opus, Pac has called this man for a one-on-one match. You're looking at that graphic right. That's Pac and Darby Allin. Jesus Christ. It's Pac, Darby Allin, I think first time ever one-on-one. After Darby Allin's already tased the man, cost him against Orange Cassidy, and of course, Pac and Gabe Kidd sent Darby Allin parading off the top of a tunnel through two flaming tables, and Darby Allin has not been seen anywhere since. We are talking about the same guy that survived a father drive when he was younger and near suicide mission on Mount Everest and a bus. You insert here. Spike TV used to have a show called 1,000 Ways to Die. Darby Allin is the definition of 1,000 ways to live. Anyway, Darby Allin and Pac one-on-one. Straight up, Pac called Darby Allin out for this challenge, saying that you will never match up to the competitor that I am. And without all your bells and whistles, you are not even worthy of being on my level. That's why I want the straight one-on-one match with you, you little nut. So basically, Death Rider MO aside, it's Pac Darby Allin one-on-one. 2 AEW Originals. I don't know what the fuck to make of this or what the fuck it leads to, as Darby Allin has been the continued dark shadow of the Death Riders since forcing Jon Moxley to say I quit, tap out in water, choke on a flag at Wrestle Dream, and being basically, I would say, ushered in as AEW's icon by Sting himself. I don't expect Sting to show up during this, but we also know that Darby Allin is one resilient bastard that doesn't know how to quit, even if his body was caught on fire. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this grudge match and who y'all got winning. And Nick, you're on the bubble this time. So Nick, Pac versus Darby Allin. What you got to say regarding this match and who gets the decision?
This will be my first of many of why do we need this match?
I do agree about that.
We don't need this. This has to end. This has. I get, like, do they want Darby on the pay-per-view? Do they want Pac just on the pay-per-view? I don't get why we're having this match. We don't need this match. This could have been easily saved for this week's Dynamite 3-hour extravaganza.
I was personally thinking the Thanksgiving Eve Dynamite, but that's just
or
mine.
that too.
Continue.
Who do I have winning? It's probably going to be Darby. But yeah, this is the one that I couldn't care less about this match because I want them to hurry up, and I mean this will play into the other match with John. I just want them to hurry up and bag John Moxley already. I'm over it. I want them to hurry and do it. But yeah, I got Darby winning.
Yeah, about to say, Nick's patience has reached a breaking point, apparently, for Death Rider's itinerary. And when this ride changed, who's at the freaking driver's seat, which is a whole different conversation that we'll talk about soon enough.
Yeah, it's just I want the page to be turned. I want the next chapter in this story. Or it seems like we're stuck in neutral right now, and we're not going anywhere until John gets bagged. So let's just hurry up and bag him, and let's move on and continue the story.
Well, until somebody works as hard as Brian as Jon Moxley, you might be stuck in neutral because, to your point, Jon Moxley's been the constant in AEW, and his Death Riders have basically been following that MO. How much longer does it go? Who knows? Good luck in that mindset, Nick. That being said, he opened the bout for Darby Allin, as I opened everybody else. 75% actually went with Darby Allin. It is not unanimous. 25% went with Pac, because I don't think they don't know what the fuck is about to be ahead here with this. And Lord knows why it might be one-on-one. When you face a Death Rider, you're never one-on-one. So keep that in mind as well. So that being said, he's got Darby Allin. Does anyone have a disagreement before we move on? Well, I just saw a private chat. So, Charles, go ahead. As Emmanuel and JJ remain stagnant, so I'm going to assume that they have the same opinion as Nick on multiple facets. Charles, we got to say real quick before I move on, because I also do agree with him. I think Darby Allin is going to win.
One, I do agree Darby is winning, but Nick, I'm just gonna say this now. They're probably the way this going, Death Row is probably not gonna end until literally World's End at this point, when
I
Moxie's
mean, it
world
would be
comes crashing down.
it would be poetic. I'm not going to lie, especially with
That's
the name.
where we're so Nick, we're gonna tolerate it one more time, buddy.
And
You'd
as
probably
we
say
all
come,
know, when it comes crashing down, it hurts inside.
brother. And also, of course, we know we probably will
You
get
know
a
what?
death
If
strike.
somebody did say that, I would be disappointed. If someone did not say that.
I wouldn't, but then again, he was on WCW. All right, Manuel, you got something to say real quick?
Yeah, the only way I could see Pac winning that this is the only way you kick out Moxley out of the group. That everybody wins from the Death Rider except for Moxley. This is the only way you could eventually kick him out without like having a legit reason. But other than that, like that's the only way I could see Pac winning in this match.
Fair enough.
And remember,
JJ?
when it comes to Pac, 5 shots couldn't stop him. He took him and smiled.
About to say, this is also accurate, and he would know he saw Pac, of course, in the fabulous form. All right. But again, Pac, chiseled as ever, one of the most vicious, lethal, quickest athletes you will see in that ring.
I'm
And
just
again,
glad he was finally able to find pants his size.
yeah, I guess there's that too. Again, he's wearing clothes now, and I know people are like, he's finally wearing clothes again because that was also a shtick previously. All right, fair enough. Great job, everybody. Bottom line, everyone here is unanimous. Darby Allin. All right, good job. That was one of the easiest matches to talk about. But again, contest aside, we'll see what happens next. Well, let's go ahead and move into championship contingency. And Charles, you're on point, but let's go ahead and see if we get 10-star FTR. As the AEW Tag Team Championships are on the line. Brodito, of course, Brody King, and the Ring of Honor World Champion, Bandito, defend the gold against FTR. Of course, Bandito had held these titles since Forbidden Door back in July, I believe, or August. Again, I'm tired. I can't keep track of when these things happen. And, of course, FTR aligned with that annoying gnat that can't get holes. They've been hooking, crooking their ways to this title opportunity, getting the better of the likes of the Bang Bang Gang and of Jet Speed. However, recently in 8-Man All-Stars and multiple money affairs, FTR have had anything but a strong record towards these championships. Trying to make it personal with Bandito's family, including his abuela, and of course, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who had a hand in training Dax and Cash. Brodito have heard enough of their crap. It is one of those things where, again, if FTR wins, this will be their 10th World Tag Team Championship. With the future of the AEW Tag Championships aside, and you know that Nat Stokely is going to have a plan in mind, do we get new tag team champions, AEW Full Gear, as FTR tries to continue their legacy of being the greatest tag team of all time? Or does Brodito run over them once again in emphatic fashion? This is one of those I'm a little bit partisan about, and also the poll is too. So, Charles, it's on you. What do you think the future is of the AEW Tag Team Championships? Do you got Brodito, who's already beaten the likes of course, Hurt Syndicate, Konosuke Takeshita, and Kazuchika Okada at Wrestle Dream, multiple other teams. And right now, I believe this will be their fifth defense. Or do you think FTR finally gets it done once more and become 3-time AEW Tag Team Champions? Go ahead.
Put this on me first. Love it. Got to love it.
Bro. You were next.
Thanks. Yeah, I know. Ugh.
Well, that was your position here on this screen, the way I see it.
I know. I know. All right. There this goes. On one hand, I do want Brody King and Bandito to retain, but I'm also just wondering if FTR gets the belts because of what? Wow. You know what? I expect Brody King and
Brain's broken.
Yeah, all over the place. Kane and Bernardino to retain, and due to I don't know if he's done filming stuff or not, but I expect to have Copeland return because there's still that loose end to finish. Then again, we haven't seen Christian either, so who knows? Who knows what's going to go down?
Nor the matriarchy. So again, and that's really where things escalated with FTR back at All Out, and Brodito was.
And also to correct you, it was July where the current tag champions won the belts.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So there you go.
Yeah. All right. So he has. You have FTR winning.
No, I expect them to lose because of returning out of Copeland.
All right, fair enough. This will be also, by the way, Brodito's sixth defense after a four-way ladder match against Young Bucks, Jet Speed, Don Callis family, Gates of Agony, and as I said before, the Don Callis family at Wrestle Dream, and also the Death Riders and AEW Dynamite, Claude Castagnoli, and Willa Yuta. Okay, so he has the champions retaining. Let's go around the horn and see if anyone else has a different opinion, because I will say right now, I agree with Charles. I still believe the champs are going to retain as well. All right, we got two of them. Nick's hands was up first, and then JJ. Nick, go ahead. Lend your thoughts towards this. Why do you have FTR winning?
It's. I was there. I was there when what they did to poor old Beth. Okay?
You were.
I was there. If you guys don't think that motherfucker has a vendetta against these guys, y'all are crazy. They're gonna win. FTR is gonna win the tag team titles, and Edge will be right behind them. I think we get an Edge return, Edge and Christian return, because realistically, and let's be truthful, Tony's chomping at the bit to put the tag team titles on CNC. I look at FTR as nothing but transitional champions. They'll hold the belts. We'll probably get a ladder tables, AEW's version of tables, ladders, and chairs TLC match, and that will probably be FTR, CNC, and the Bucks. So I have FTR winning the titles.
All right, fair enough. And JJ, with that being said, last time FTR held the tag team championships was 2023 as two-time champs for 185 days, of course, losing them to the Young Bucks. And so far, FTR have not won a match since October 18th. They lost down a $400,000 eight-man tag. They, of course, lost out in a tag match against the Bang Bang Gang. And they recently lost an eight-man tag when Bandito, Jet Speed, and Juice Robinson beat them alongside Los Fasciones, Eagle Monopolies. They haven't won that match since the number one contender four-way October 29th, fixed Stokely halfway, who, might I add, been holding the feet outside the referee's vision that has allowed FTR to pick up their last two wins that they've literally have gotten recently. So let's go ahead and get your thoughts towards this and see if you got to go Nick Sevens. What you got to say regarding this match? Who you got leaving at the tag team championships? You've been kind of partisan when it comes to this teaming of Brodito, of course, Brody King from your stomping grounds, Steel Brothers Wrestling Academy, Bandito, notorious Ring of Honor World Champion this year, some of the best matches of his career this year, and one of the hardest workers this year. So what do you got to say?
Copy what Nick said, paste it in my mouth and my words.
There you go. He took a Walter.
That's basically exactly what I was going to say. I see FTR winning so that we can get back to the Christian and Cope thing.
All right.
That's where that story ends, is Christian and Cope defeating FTR, who turned their backs on Cope and becoming the tag champions. That's where that story ends.
Exactly.
Whether it happens at World's End or they're able to hold it until Revolution, that's neither here nor there. It just kind of depends how much filming Edge is doing. How long the shoots are.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see either or, because Revolution is essentially their first big show of the new year.
Correct.
Unless you want to count Grand Slam Australia. But that's just going to be a special Dynamite Collision thing. Hopefully no one jumps over the top rope and rolls their ankle again.
I'm about to say, though, we did see the AEW Women's World Championship change hands on that show. So, again, don't rule it out. All right, fair enough. That being said, partisan thoughts. Nick, you got something to say real quick?
Yeah. I like I'm with JJ with the whole Revolution. There's certain factors here that lend to that, because when I forget, I think it was for the All Out Media Scrum, Tony was asked about running. I'm paraphrasing, so I might be wrong in how I'm saying it, but he was essentially talking about when Canada, Toronto specifically was getting another pay per view.
Mm-hmm.
If we get rumblings of, and this is the tinfoil hat, if we start hearing rumblings of Toronto, more importantly, the Rogers Center, not Scotiabank Arena. There you go. She's already saying no. If you start hearing rumblings of Toronto and the Rogers Center, which is home of the Jays, getting another pay per view, because I did remember Tony saying he was running more than one stadium show next year. If we hear rumblings of the Rogers Center being the home for Revolution, I can see JJ's point in having that match headline that show, and Cope and Christian winning the tag team titles in Toronto again.
I mean, it would be at first also that the Tag Team Championships would be the headline, the main event of an AEW pay-per-view, and justifiably so, considering the scope of the moment. So I like that idea a lot. But again, we'll have to see what happens. As Fett says, the Sky Dome. All right. Well, Manuel, you were the only one that didn't speak since everyone else said something. So again, right now it looks like it's 2-2. So go ahead and break it up. Where do you stand this? FTR or Bodito?
I have to go with JJ Nick. Like, FTR is going to win this. The only reason why I say this, I think the Brodito tag team, like, was supposed to be just for the shocker. Like, nobody, when I think in the predictions, nobody picked Brodito to actually win those tag team titles.
You're absolutely correct.
And then they actually won it, and they had a good run. And if they're correct about Adam Copeland, aka Edge, and Christian Cage, aka Christian, like winning the tag teams, it would be the only way they could run that tag team possibly one last time before Edge's retirement. Because unfortunately, with that injury, with the ankle snapping and that spot that he was not supposed to ever take, his career would have been done by now. But unfortunately, that was not the case. He has 2026. We're gonna see him stay for Ross and goodbyes, because I think he's pretty much done for 2026. Which is just a matter of time he's gonna announce it that he's gonna retire in 2026, and let's see where he goes, because I don't know who dethrones the Christian and Adam at this point in the future, but that's a long time booking that they worried earlier on.
All right, fair enough. Nick, I do see your hand up. What you got, Sarah, quick before we move on?
Just sorry. And I think if we do see the title change this weekend, it lends into how far along is Buddy Matthews' injury progress. Because I mean, when Buddy gets back, you have to reunite the Hounds of Hell. You're not just going to leave Buddy on his own. I think Brodito has put enough stock in his name to where he can go on a singles run. Hell, you can give him. I feel like you can give him the unified title. I think his stock has risen that high in the past 8 to 10 months. So it just, a lot of things just kind of snowballing to make me also think I can't see them holding on to the titles.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I do love the fact that we do have partisan thoughts here about some of these bigger matches, especially for the championships. And again, FTR, they've definitely been one of those teams that has pushed the AEW Tag Team division to even stronger limits when it comes to a competitive nature, as they've always had. I look back at NXT TakeOver where they took on American Alpha and DIY, and we've already seen nods back to those. All right. Well, good stuff, everybody. Also, Stokes and Nat. Let's go ahead and move on to our next match and change things up here since everyone's done a match. Let's go this time to Emmanuel for this one. And speaking of Death Riders, here's the guy once again, because for the first time ever, we're getting John Moss versus Kyle O'Reilly in No Holds Barred. Of course, this escalated from the fact that Jon Moxley has quit now, not once, but twice. As Kyle O'Reilly has had Jon Moxley's number as late, has been his kryptonite. I say that as this is brought to you by DC. The thing that about this, though, there's so much history with these two men, as Kyle O'Reilly said before. He literally almost had his career ended at the hands of Jon Moxley when his neck almost got broken and he was out for 2 years. And of course, Kyle O'Reilly and Jon Moxley have had now 2 singles matches. Jon Moxley punched the referee. There was a double count out. But in Blood and Guts, Kyle O'Reilly showing pure resilience forced Jon Moxley to quit, tap out to an ankle lock. And since then, Jon Moxley has been testing Kyle O'Reilly's merit. Can you do it again and again? Can you constantly come back when you lose? I've lost a lot of matches. I've also won a lot too. To Jon Moxley's point, he absolutely has. It's almost one of those things where I look at just the graphic right here. There's a lot of a similar mentality when it comes to a drive and proving who's more violent, but also who's more driven here, which is why I'm also looking forward to this. But after what happened on Wednesday Night Dynamite Collision with Jon Moxley and Clark Castagnoli versus Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong, and all hell broke loose with the Death Riders, Kyle O'Reilly forced Jon Moxley to tap out again and has called Jon Moxley out on his challenge. And if Kyle, and as Kyle said, if Jon Moxley wants him again, then I'm going to really try and inflict some pain on you like I did in Blood and Guts. You're a glutton for this. So I'll face you, but it's going to be no holds barred. And remember this, if I made you tap out twice, 3 times. So the bottom line, it's Jon Moxley, Kyle O'Reilly 3, legitimately one-on-one, but it's no holds barred, so expect some technicality violently. Who you have winning this grudge? Let's find out. And is the Death Riders' merit called into question based on this match decision? As you constantly keep asking how long this ride lasts, especially Marina Shafir, who's been ride or die day one with him. Emmanuel, you kick things off first. Jon Moxley, Kyle O'Reilly, one-on-one, no holds barred. Who you have winning this?
I think Kyle Fletcher, not Kyle Fletcher. Ugh.
Good.
Kyle, I know. Watch for me, yeah. Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know why I was thinking Kyle Fletcher. Kyle O'Reilly. Yeah.
Two of the most driven Kyles ever in professional wrestling, both incredibly efficient wrestlers, but different Kyles. Continue.
Yeah. Anyways, Kyle O'Reilly's going to win this. Like, this has to be more significance for him to win and tap out Moxley in the Blood and Guts match. If not, what was the point of him making Moxley tap out in that kind of match? Like, it doesn't make sense. Adam Cole, unfortunately, is injured. He's retired. I think this is the only reason why Tony Khan is using him as, like, if we can't have Adam Cole, who's the next in line, and that's Kyle O'Reilly. So right now, I think eventually Kyle O'Reilly is going to eventually get a title of some significance, and that's when we see Adam Cole celebrating with his brother and hugging it out. Maybe the AEW title in the future, and then to celebrating. That's how he's proud of accomplishing something that even Adam Cole had been accomplished in AEW.
Interesting take, but I do think Kyle and Adam Cole were both looked in different lights, considering Adam Cole was TNT champion. A title Jon Moxley never pursued, by the way. He's only been world champion, record saying fourth, but world champion. And you do bring up an interesting point about friends and Paragon, Roderick Strong, who's been ride or die alongside Kyle. But I also think about a subtle note what Kyle said about when it came to Mark Briscoe's attack, saying he had nothing to do with that. I almost wonder, is there some tension with Roderick Strong still and this entire conglomeration faction that Kyle O'Reilly is very part of? And I almost wonder, could that come into play? Because again, no holds barred, anything goes. So that's another thing to think about here. But okay, that being said, you do have Kyle O'Reilly winning.
Yeah, just for no sake, no DQ means everything goes, but for no horsepower, everything goes, including illegal moves, wrestling moves. That's the
right.
only two differences between. Because I heard that from the other no DQ review was the difference. That's the only small differences between these two matches.
There's a reason why no disqualification, no holds barred are different match gimmicks. Learn something, people. All right, with that being said, Big Emmanuel, he's got Kyle O'Reilly winning. Before I open up to the floor, it's a majority favor of, ooh, this should be interesting. Jon Moxley. 60% to Jon Moxley, 40% to Kyle O'Reilly. Again, no holds barred. Does it favor Jon Moxley as violent nature? We've also seen Kyle O'Reilly extremely violent, though. And again, Kyle O'Reilly has had Jon Moxley's number. So again, this is one of those matches that could go either way, and I do wonder what it could lead to, particularly for the violent artists. And again, as Ash has kind of been talking about here, being Earl Nostradamus, Roderick Strong's a damn snake and cannot be trusted. So again, does Roderick Strong show a different side of himself? Something to think about. All right, we'll think about that, Emmanuel. Kyle O'Reilly is the opening ballot. Does anyone have a disagreement? Going one. All righty. Charles, go ahead and speak. What do you got to say regarding this?
One, maybe somewhat of disagreement. Actually, the more I think about it. So I was going to say this. Fox has been tapping out a lot. Because it happened at All In. It's happened at Wrestle Dream and Blood and Guts. So technically, this will, and I'm going to say it, fourth time Mox will tap out.
That's a fair shout.
4 times in a row. Not only, which is crazy. But I still expect the Death Riders to not fully add it towards that. But as far as the title goes, because I know Emmanuel brought that point up, there's a reason why I said specifically the conglomeration going after Kyle Fletcher after Kyle retains the TNT title. It's only fitting that Kyle O'Reilly wins the TNT title. Something that Adam Cole had, just saying, it fits.
I mean,
Story speaks for itself.
I mean, yeah, but for that to happen, you would have to see Kyle O'Reilly win. You could have any momentum. We've already seen Jon Moxley turn down Don Callis, saying, "I don't need any handout from you." And we've already seen Jon Moxley deck Don Callis with a permanent scar on his freaking bald Mr. Clean forehead. All right, fair enough. Two Kyle O'Reillys. It's not when I'm telling lies. So we got Kyle O'Reilly.
Now I see Don Callis, I think I'm Mr. Clean now. Damn, you know.
And there's nothing clean about that virus. All right, worse than COVID. All right, thank you for that, Charles. Kyle O'Reilly. Well, I'm on a roll. And by the way, if JJ says one more fucking thing wrong about Statlander, I'm going to fucking bury your ass, you freaking WWE via hell hopeful. All right, now, that being said.
Damn.
You've been fucking warned. All right, that being said, Kyle O'Reilly. Does anyone have a disagreement? Going once, going twice.
I don't have a disagreement. This is a what the fuck are you, Tony? What are you doing? Why do you miss the plot so much?
Why do you think you know the plot so much is the better question.
Why does this match need to be no holds barred? The story is John giving up. The story is Jon Moxley tapping. This would have been so much better if this was a submission match. The Bulldog choke versus the ankle lock. Like, why do we need on a pay-per-view? Listen, I love and JJ, you're gonna laugh. I love bleeding assholes. I love watching it. It's fun. I get it. I love it. But I just got done with a blood and guts show. I'm getting a steel cage match. I'm getting a no DQ match.
Yes.
Why do we need a no hold barred match? Like at this point, we should just make the whole pay-per-view a damn no DQ pay-per-view. Like this match should have been a submission match.
I agree.
Where it's the ankle lock versus the bulldog choke is one of the things that just, again, I see it and I ask myself, okay, I understand where we're going and where we're heading. It's just, why are we doing unnecessary things?
It does make me wonder, though, to your point, will we see unnecessary violence, or is Jon Moxley here to prove a point? Because in a violent affair, I would go with Jon Moxley. In a technical bout against Kyle O'Reilly, I go Kyle O'Reilly the whole damn time. So I almost wonder, in context, will these two fight the mat game more the duration than ensue each other in violent combat? Again, it's one of those things, yeah, the match is what it is. But what's the context of it, I think is what we really got to think about. And we can't assume what the context is going to be beforehand until we see it. But I do appreciate that outlook, Nick, because as someone that loves technical wrestling, and Ash and Walter can also echo that sentiment, I would love to see Kyle O'Reilly and John Moxley in a technical affair as they are both submissionists. All right, well, that being said, thank you for that note. Okay, I don't think anyone else has anything further to say because, again, this man is stoic. Gee, I wonder why. So I think we will move on from there. So let's go ahead into something that's not going to be violent, but something that's going to be pure chaotic. Because it's time for an AEW standard tradition. And again, if you want to talk about Simon Miller, why, here's why, you're more than welcome to do that. But guess what? Time to crown another. Hold on. I just got to say, I just got to just do this real quick. Why, Tony Khan, are you doing another title despite the fact it's going to be defended in CMLL, ROH, New Japan, AEW? I know I'm not going to get the answer, but WWE already has 4-5 different pointless championships. I don't know what to make of this when you already had TV titles and a unified mid-card title. What the fuck are we doing here, man? It's going to be fun, but I do question, again, not everyone in wrestling needs to hold a belt. Thank you. This has been a message by the Simple Man. Either way, it's a match. We're going to talk about it. Let's go ahead and talk about the Casino Gauntlet match. Once again, the stable tradition of AEW. And this one will be used to crown the inaugural AEW National Champion. This title will be defended across AEW, New Japan, ROH, and CMLL, whoever wins it. For those that don't know how Casino Gauntlet match goes, it is basically a mini Royal Rumble. Far more surprising because you don't know who the fuck's going to come out win. Except this. We know number 1 and number 2 are freaking Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. Bobby Lashley, who shut that Philadelphia Eagles stand up Ricochet in short fashion, and Shelton Benjamin, who had a great clinic against People My Billy for the first time ever. Other participants announced include but not limited to Ricochet and both members of Jet Speed, Kevin Knight, and Speedball Mike Bailey. The way a Casino Gauntlet match works, folks, the first pinfall submission can happen at any time. People will continue to come out at random intervals until that decision is rendered. And whoever gets the first pinfall submission, they will be crowned the inaugural AEW National Champion. Previous winners of the Casino Gauntlet went on to challenge for world titles and win world title opportunities, including but not limited to Maxwell Jacob Freeman at AEW, who still has his chance, by the way. You might want to think about that when we talk about this later. And also, of course, Will Ospreay, who has won at least 3 of these. So let's go around the horn and talk about who we think is going to be in it. And as always, with these random type matches of multiple person affair, you each get 2 picks. Your primary worth 2 and your secondary worth 1. And this time we will kick things off with Charles. So Charles, brand new championship to be crowned. You get 2 picks. Casino Gauntlet match once again, the AEW staple. Who knows who's going to show up? Who knows who's going to get the win? But right now, I think business does favor heavily the Hurt Syndicate. So who you got as your 2 picks to become the inaugural AEW National Champion? Go ahead.
Oh, I got a lot of things to say in regards to this match.
Oh, he's actually not going to be simple. This should be interesting. Go for it, bro.
Hell no, it's not. What was the damn point of unifying the 2 freaking titles in the first place if we were just gonna do this shit?
I've been asking
Literally,
that question since it
the
wasn't
national title, right? Yeah, that's all right. Was gonna do the exact same shit what this new belt's gonna do.
pretty much.
Now,
Well,
now it feels like to me here, Tony made a damn mistake of unifying those titles. Because he feel like he regretted that now by creating this national title.
no shit.
It's stupid. What it is. Whew.
Do you feel better now that you got that off your chest?
This is the first time I've done this, okay?
I love it.
I've been holding this in for a while.
Fine. Why do you think New Japan brought the damn Global Heavyweight Championship when they fucked up getting the Intercontinental Championship removed? Anyway, again, I'm feeling a little bit better now. I can't wait to talk about the Women's World Championship match. Anyway, go ahead, Charles.
All right. As far as the match itself, who's winning this? Oh my god. Whew.
Breathe, brother.
Like I said, I had to hold this in for a while, so I had to go on
Glad
a rant. People got a free rant from me.
This is
There you go.
why I love doing simply predicting. Raw, real emotion and outlook, unfiltered, unscripted. Continue.
As far as the winners goes, I am my first pick. I am not going to be surprised if it's Ricochet.
Oh, God.
I won't be surprised. And as far as the second one goes, depends on who shows up in the match, honestly. Besides the names we got.
Well, you've seen up to 21 people before show up in this damn fucking thing.
It could be over before we even know it. It could be over literally goes to the first two in the match. We might not even need to worry about the rest of the people.
That would be surprising, honestly. And again, I mean, I'll take it over these men being a singles champion at AEW. I will say that. Continue.
Which, now because of that, my second pick is actually one of the first two entries in this match. I'm thinking it's going to be... let's give Shell Benjamin the damn singles gold.
Oh, okay.
But it's been eternity.
Attorney. All right.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
No lies detected as me and JJ applaud you. I love that. Thank you, Charles. All right. Well, that
case is closed now.
Okay. Thank you. Bravo. That was his best prediction yet. All right. So that being said, he's got Ricochet primary and Shelton Benjamin secondary. It's been a who's who of names right here. People have said Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, Claudio Castagnoli, Bobby Lashley, Speedball, Mike Bailey, Eddie Kingston even. And someone even pointed out MJF, which I find very interesting. All right, so everyone's going to get a chance to have fun here. Let's go around the horn and get your two picks, shall we? And let's see if you agree with Charles or have a different outlook. And again, he already ran about the title, so we can all move on because we don't need 5 rants on the same damn shit. Seriously. All right, that being said, I might clash with this man, but with all due respect, folks, me and him will always go to butt heads, but we love each other for it. All right, JJ. Let's go ahead and talk about the 2 people you got winning the AEW National Championship. Go ahead and let your mind wander.
Okay, so I feel like this title can be a blessing and a curse.
Accurate.
As much as I think every single one of us agree with Charles's diatribe about another championship, if you want to make some compelling television, if you want to make a story, if you want to give me some kind of build-up, something to intrigue me, something to entice me, Mark Briscoe wins this after losing to Kyle Fletcher. Because one championship represents the face of Warner Brothers Discovery, the corporate entity that wanted to keep the Briscoes off of their television product.
Correct.
The other championship represents companies abroad. And I can see Mark Briscoe going and representing in other companies, much like the Briscoes were journeymen of the independent scene prior to AEW's formation. That makes more sense for me.
I like that.
The other name that I'm going to throw out there is a surprise. Because, again, you want some compelling television, you let somebody that's not even all elite yet, officially, show up, win the championship, and that's how they become all elite. Kind of like how the ID program works. If somebody can defeat an ID champion, they become ID'd. Killer Cross.
Well then, that was a name not on my radar. Okay. Wow.
Where's Full Gear?
It's in the.
It's in Jersey, and he is doing an indie in New Jersey that night.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Killer Cross.
Wow. All right then. Well, that didn't answer Ash's question. That's definitely a side tangent, but
Hmm. Yeah,
justifiably
the
so.
show that they are doing begins at 3 local time, which is noon Pacific. He will be done with more than enough time to be at the Prudential Center for this, especially since his match is, with all due respect, a throwaway tag match.
Mm-hmm.
Killer Cross and Jimmy Lloyd versus the major players.
Mm,
So it's not going to be a main event match, but it's not going to be a curtain jerker match. It's going
right.
to be a middle of the card match, still giving him plenty of time. I was
Fair enough.
fairly certain this show was in Jersey. Thank you
Yep.
for that confirmation, my Canadian king of food. That just adds
Yeah.
more fuel to my belief.
Yep. And again, potential
Even if
center.
he doesn't win, I can still see him being a surprise entrant in this match.
We've seen surprises before. All right, fair enough. As far as Ash's question goes, I mean CMLL, oof, but maybe Sobrano Jr. We know Mystico is going to be on there earlier. I wouldn't rule out that happening again. We've seen that type of stuff before. New Japan,
Big
they'll get the
Boom
world.
AJ is going to win.
Don't put that out in the universe.
Jesus.
What was it
Think
going?
about the marketing, dude. The Costco guy is the first ever national champion, bringing the boom. Costco's are everywhere, man. He can take that championship to Japan Costco's, Mexico Costco's, like
They got true.
What?
chocolate
Canadian
chunk cookie
Costco's.
in one hand, championship in the other.
This Costco's in Mexico? All right, that's news to me. Okay, damn, JJ's trying to break me
I'm
in his
gonna
fucking
assume by
meeting.
the finger tap there that Emmanuel is agreeing.
Oh, damn it, JJ, you fucking idiot. Anyway, New Japan, of course, got the World Tag League right now, Ash. So, right now, I'm not sure, and Ishii's still injured. Damn it. Hope that he gets well soon. ROH, I can see Jay Lethal of the franchise. I can definitely see him possibly being involved in this. Just throw a name out there. I'm not sure. And that's why I love these casino gauntlets. I never know who's freaking coming out. I'm sure Beast Mortos will be involved in this. We might get some Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn, or Austin. Why am I Ace Austin? Thank Christ, my brain's really freaking tired. So again, and so I don't know. This is one of those things I'm always intrigued by because I never know who's going to show up, and I do love that idea as well. But considering there are some people in New Japan that very well will not be on that card, I cannot wait to fucking cover that show either. And again, New Jersey is across the river from Spence, so maybe he knows something. And Cloud Casanova is also a fair shout out from our world champion. Thank you for that, Derek Loves. Okay, with that being said, thank you, JJ. All right, Nick, let's get your thoughts next. What two people do you have maybe becoming the inaugural AEW National Champion, similar or different to JJ or Charles? Go ahead.
Okay, I have a different gripe. And y'all are gonna say that I'm crazy.
Well, wouldn't be the first time.
It wouldn't be the first time. After this pay per view, and I'm telling you straight, if we see another casino gauntlet match from now till next year, all in, I'm done with this product. I,
Clip it.
I,
Clip it.
it's
Flip it,
he's
people.
killing
He reached his breaking point. Clip it.
this is a concept that was so unique, and he is and I you guys are saying you guys are probably thinking I'm being too harsh. He is running this concept into the ground the more he does it. We just got done one literally 3 4 months ago. He's gonna keep using this concept until he ruins it. This is something special. This could be the casino gauntlet could be your money in the bank. You can have the casino gauntlet at all in one time a year where somebody wins again like they did it like they did it this year at all in where
Mm-hmm.
it was for a championship opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
He is killing this gimmick, and it's just, again, Tony, why? Why must you just keep doing it over and over again and making it lose that special feeling of it? I love the Casino Gauntlets, but it's getting to a point where it's too much.
That's fair.
Uh,
I respect that take. It's not the first
as
time we've
for
heard a gimmick overkilled in a company.
yeah, as for people, as for competitors who I think would win, I'll give you a more likely pick because I've seen that he's been working out recently. Swerve. Swerve could be a good uh, inaugural champion. He's already been the world champion. He lost to Okada, so I can't see him being the unified champion because I think that the next holder of that belt has to be Takeshita. So that's already tied up. Swerve Strickland holding this title going around to different promotions sounds about right. I think he could do it. You want to do a name that is out of left field? Keith Lee.
Whoa! Wow.
I mean, why not? He hasn't been around. He's been hurt and sick, and he had his whole battle with long COVID and his health issues. I think he recently said that he was ready to go. He's just waiting on the call. Why not get him back into the fold? Make him your inaugural champion.
I mean, I would definitely love to bask in his glory once again. I just got done watching the last War Games match that mattered in 2019. But fair shout out, Nick. Okay, I like that. And I do love the fact that you literally picked Swerve in our glory, considering their fallout. But again, time heals all wounds. Okay, well, that being said, Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee, Killer Cross. I'm quite surprised by these names, honestly, and I love how dynamic they are. And Ash, I don't know if I believe you in that statement. Okay, well, that being said, that leaves Emmanuel, I believe. Emmanuel, your two picks for the inaugural AEW National Champion. Go ahead.
Well, I looked that up right now, Noah. For me, there's two picks that I have, but also two picks that would be ha ha ha, not in the last time. Tony Khan. Where do you want to hear first, Noah? The ha ha's or my real picks?
Well, considering I'm really real stoic and you're trying to actually make me laugh, go ahead and humor me with your craziest.
Okay. Maria Shafir wins the inaugural national champion. Why not? Mercedes Moné magically wins 2 titles in this epic pay-per-view for the ha 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 ha's. Yes, Charles, Emmanuel. Don't bring that up, Emmanuel.
Continue.
But
I swear to God, Emmanuel, now that you've put that out in the ether, if Mercedes Moné wins this fucking match, I'm going to drive down to San Diego for War Games and beat the shit out of you.
I was also going to say,
my phone so she can film it.
Damn!
I swear,
and then I'll bring it back and let Noah do commentary over it.
If that happens, Emmanuel, and when I see that, the first person I'm going to think of is come back to this date, which is this date, November 20th, about to turn into 21st in my time. I'm not going to go yell at Emmanuel the next time I'm in this one of these sessions again. Or he's in a live chat, I will yell at you. For putting this in the ether!
I think Emmanuel just
and I get her JJ too.
Public enemy number 1 if this happens.
Yes!
As it's officially Friday, November the 21st here in the East Coast. That being said, why he went more Bizarro than Bizarro from the DC universe, and this is brought to you by DC, Emmanuel, seriously, 2 actual picks that are realistic. Although Maria Shafir will be in action later, and she could probably take on any man or woman. I'm not going to deny that's one tough bitch. Anyway,
For a
continue. Cover the dick.
non-movie guy, that was a great little tie-in there, Noah. Good job, sir.
I tried, JJ. When I
You
was
got the approval. You got the approval from it. So there you go.
once in a while, I even surprise JJ when I go beyond wrestling, and we all know Maurice Fair is tougher than any bitch in this business. Anyway, continue, Emmanuel.
Okay. Now that I put that out of the way,
Wow.
I didn't think I would get so much heat of getting beat up by Kane John Cena so much, but saying that, jeez.
Man, I didn't think JJ was a violent person, honestly. That really surprised me. Anyway, continue.
I'm really not. That's how jacked up that shit is.
Yeah.
You know you don't effed up. You know you done effed up. We got JD doing
Yeah.
that.
This is accurate.
Okay, my two legit picks are Shelton Benjamin. I agree with Charles. Like, there's a reason why he's number 2. Like, he's a human real from their matches. He's gonna wow people. It would be a great way to have him as well as John Cena, as champion in 2025, 2026, the OBW Classic. What a wild concept! That would be amazing. And my secondary pick, why not Ricochet? Ricochet, like, we need picking a heel, and picking a face. Like Shelton's more of a face than a heel. Let's face
That's
that.
fair. You're hedging bets.
Yeah. So if we're gonna have a heel being a champion, why not Ricochet? Ricochet has been killing it. He has a faction. There's ways we could find ways for him to retain his title without defeating, cleaning, stuff like that until we find better suitor. But let's test it out. Let's see where it goes. But to answer to Ash, yes, Canada, Mexico, Japan, UK, South Korea, Australia, Taiwan, Spain, China, France, Iceland, New Zealand, and Sweden are all in Costco.
There's a Costco in Iceland. What the hell they sell there?
Sounds like a lot of the same places that believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, you fucking asshole.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Had to get it out there once.
Of course
Look,
we
if
did. Of course we
Look,
did.
if JD did it, I would.
Of course you would, you fucking idiots. All right, thank you, Emmanuel. And I'm just going to say Shelton Benjamin should be a fucking singles champion because he is better than ever we've seen as of late in AEW, in my opinion. And hedging bets with a heel pick versus a face pick, that's a fair shout out, honestly. I like that outlook. So I think for heel wise, I'm actually going to go with Death Rider, Claudio Castagnoli, because he also deserves to be a singles champion. I think just him taking things himself in his own direction is a whole different dynamic than being one of Jon Moxley's lackeys. What do you guys say real quick, JJ?
This might seem like a crazy thought, but considering AEW's partnerships,
Mm-hmm.
what are the odds that we could get Tanahashi in this?
Oh! One last appearance.
I mean, I know when they did the show, whatever it was, a few months ago, I think it was in Chicago, like early summer, late spring, they announced it as his final appearance in the States.
Yes.
But we also know the way Tony Khan is.
Yes.
I could almost see them making him the inaugural champion and then having him lose the title either at World's End or in the Tokyo Dome.
Well, considering he's right now in the World Tag League with ELP, I'm going to say a highly unlikely in all likelihood because I think they're literally in action today as we speak. And he also, again, is done, like you said, January 4th next year, and he's already facing Kazuchika Okada in a Soto Tokyo Dome to the point they're already putting out extra seats. But I like the outlook. I did see your hand, Charles. What do you got to say real quick? And thank you for that, Ash.
First of all, to JJ's point, if he said that they were to win it, Well, that also mean they could add that could add fuel to the fire if Okada was the one that took the national title from Tanahashi. That would just piss off Takeshita more.
Right?
It's like, so you know what? Actually, and hell, if Takeshita loses his title at Wrestle Kingdom, and Okada gets 2 belts, just shit, add more fuel to the fire. So
That's
actually,
fair.
shit, JJ might be right here.
Well, it's not the first time that he's called something far-fetched out of the blue, and eventually he was correct. But again, we'll see what
Kind of
happens.
like Oba and Moose.
I'm about to say, Fever Dream wants the blue moon, but where are we at now? All right, fair enough. And again, that was a great match, not gonna lie. All right, well, good job, everybody. Some dynamic picks, and I think at the end of the day, we might be, wondering what we're doing with gimmicks, but this is modern day wrestling. It's like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing this? All that used to live in the past and what the business was like, that's dead. Do with it now or get out of the fandom. Okay, well, moving on from there.
No.
Good. What we gotta say real quick, Emmanuel.
You only have one pick, Claudio. Who was your second pick?
Send Benjamin.
Okay, get your picture. I think you're right.
Oh, that's fine. Again, and I imagine we'll also learn the participants in the Continental Classic at Full Gear, if not prior, because again, next week the Continental Classic starts Wednesday night. Can't freaking wait. And of course, Sean Benjamin, he was a stud in that last year. I could definitely see him involved in that. We've also seen multiple championships involved in round robin tournaments, and again, that could lead implications if that person is pinned, whether or not someone challenges for said title. So it might just be more like a Kazuchika Okada that might be involved in that. And speaking of championships and tournaments, let's go ahead and move on to some fatal four-way action that could have some unique outlooks on the AEW Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament as we know it. Before I show the field, here, of course, right now, folks, is your bracket, and I will update you as I covered AEW Dynamite Collision impromptu last night. Your semifinals are now all set on both sides. The Baszler Raffle, the 9-gun Hardy Cameron will take on the Sisters of Sin, and on the other side, it's Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa taking on Megan Bayne and Marina Shafir. And the unique thing about this, these 4 teams are now going to have a 4-way tag where the winner will determine their match stipulation in the semifinals. Again, Marina Shafir, Megan Bayne just beat Ty J last night. Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa, the timeless Love Bombs. Love that freaking name in their new theme. Of course, beat Alex Windsor and Rico in a very game bout last night. Baszler Raff, the bracket buster, beating Mercedes and Athena with Harley Cameron being the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. And of course, the Sisters of Sin, with the help of Thekla, beat Jamie Hayter and Queen Aminata. And of course, the Sisters of Sin and Maria Shafir and Megan Bayne were all part of the winning team, of course, in Blood and Guts. And why Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa have some crazy ass ideas, making John Moxley's bitch bleed within an inch of her life, including a tie-pain death match. Mina, you're so innocent. What's wrong with you? And why do I love you for this violent nature? I'm very worried what could happen here based on what team wins and what stipulation they could choose in the semifinals bout. As we get closer and closer to determining the first the first champion. So that being said, it's a 4-way tag. You all know how this goes. The first one to get pinfall or submission, they win. And they will get to choose their match stipulation in the semifinals of the tournament. Let's go around the horn and see what you all think. And guess what? I'm going to be polite here because I know there's one person here that JJ will never go against and never say anything negative about. So JJ, you're on ballot first. Who you have winning this 4-way tag to determine their match stipulation in the AEW Women's Tag Team Tournament bout? Go ahead.
Honestly, none of these women I'll say anything bad about.
Good
Because
man.
even for as bad as people seem to claim Marina Shafir is, she'd still probably beat my ass and I'd probably let her. But that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, it is. Stay civil. Jesus Christ almighty. Talk about glutton for punishment. Freaking masochist in a red lit room. Anyway, continue.
The winner of this match isn't going to be one person. It's not even going to be 2 people since it's technically a tag team. The winner of this match is going to be the fans.
Accurate.
The MVP of this match is going to be the cameraman.
Jesus Christ.
Look, Noah, you may be the somber, straight edge, simple man, but stop me when I'm telling lies.
No lies detected. Oh, by the way, look, this is what a women's tag team division looks like. Anyway, continue.
The only team that I don't want to win are Megan Bain and Marina Shafir.
Hmm.
I could actually see them having somebody in a submission and then one of the other teams stealing a victory
To your point,
because the person isn't submitting.
To your point, we've already seen Marina Shafir put away Anna Jay and Mina Shirakawa in Mother's Milk. So definitely won't rule that out.
But I said from the outset of this tournament that as much as I love some of the other people in this tournament still, and as much as I would love to make one of them a future baby mama of mine, I think this tournament is the Sisters of Sins. I think they are going to eventually be your inaugural champion. Because even before they announced all the teams, they were one of the only legitimate teams that had been around the division for a minute.
This is accurate.
And out of all the teams that entered this tournament, they're the only legitimate team that is still there. The others may have cute little makeshift names, but they're still so and so and so and so that were thrown together.
In very short fashion.
And I think these type of matches work better if a heel gets to pick a stipulation. So that being said, that eliminates the Babes of Wrath and the Timeless Love Bombs. So I've got the Sisters of Sin taking this.
Okay. And hopefully Sky Blue does not bring any fire involved in this. Crazy masochist. God bless her. Hardcore out of the womb. All right. So
Darby Allin isn't in this match, so we don't need to set anybody on fire. So there's no reason to bring flames. It will be a hot time in the old town tonight because of the 8 women involved here. But we don't need legitimate fire.
Tell that to Sky Blue as Kyle Fletcher fears the day that happens in AEW. She's been asking for that. She personally asked for that in Blood and Guts. I'm glad it didn't happen. Okay.
That's because they were already doing that in the men's Blood and Guts, probably.
Yeah, you're
you didn't want to do the same spot in 2 matches.
Yeah, you're not wrong, honestly.
Darby Allin probably overheard her pitch and was like, ooh, I can do that. Set me on fire.
Why do I feel
but according to Nick, Darby Allin wasn't set on fire.
You know what?
He was not set on fire. He was not set on fire. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, Bill Nye, fake science guy, context aside. That being said, I feel like Darby Allin and Sky Blue is a fever dream of mixed tag team masochists waiting to happen. God help us. Okay, he's got Sister of Sin winning this.
Darby Allin and Sky Blue versus Ethan Page and Chelsea Green.
Stop it. All right. That being said, he's got Sister of Sin winning this and picking their stipulation against the Babes of Wrath. Keep that in mind. Again, if Timeless Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa win, they picked the stipulation against Megan Bay and Rhea Shafir to the point that Mina said Taipei death match as a possibility. Hell no. All right. Get that comment off, fucking Walter. All right. That being said, thank you, JJ. He's got the Sisters of Sin. Well, this should be interesting as, believe it or not, Charles, it's actually 55% in favor of the Timeless Love Bombs, considering the personal vendetta Toni Storm has towards Pride, Mega Bay, Rhea Shafir, which is right now becoming a bigger story in this tournament. 55% with Toni Storm, Mina Shirakawa. The other 3 teams, a dead even 15%. So, again, there's interest across the board. But Mina and Tony right now, I think people just want to see what sort of innuendo promo or some sort of crazy ass stipulation those 2 come up with against Mega Bay and Maria Shafir, especially after how Blood and Guts ended. That being said, Charles, do you agree with JJ? Do you agree with the poll? Or do you have a different outlook? Go ahead. You're next.
I still agree with JJ. The cameraman and everyone at home wins this.
Oh,
that's number 1.
No.
No, I love how you're acting all innocent, but yet Do I need to remind how you were when you were seeing Mina on during Dynamite? The way
I'm
you were
gonna
talking?
Nina is hardcore, and I
Normally,
didn't know that
normally,
innocent gem could
hush,
be hardcore.
hush. I'm hijacking your show for a minute. Hush.
All right.
Normally, I wouldn't do this type of thing because I know the way he reacts. But all you need to know to see the way Noah feels about seeing women is watch him during a bunny match.
You better shut the fuck up before you start something ridiculous.
Oh, now I remember that. A fair point.
Charles, go fall down a manhole cover and shut the fuck up. Anyway, get your pick out.
Damn.
You really
By the
want
way,
to
that's the fat comment. Walter's still ain't shit, but he's not wrong either.
I know that you know nobody's wrong here.
Which is
apparently.
why I am going with go with JJ's pick.
You go with Jay. Forget just buyout. All right.
Look, I just JJ makes so many damn good points.
Fair enough.
Look, because I've heard Nick in the spaces, and Nick, I apologize if I hijack some of what you're about to say here. But Nick has said that the bigger story here is going to be, Willow, or no, you were saying Tony, I think. Somebody getting back at the Death Riders. Maybe
So
it was Willow.
No. With this, the overall story coming out of Blood and Guts was Tony.
Yep. And Mina.
Tony and Mina
and
kind of
Shafir and Bane.
avenging what happened at the end of Blood and Guts. Because we got to remember the Sisters of Sin were the ones that were holding Tony back, and it was Marina and Bane whipping Mina. So that's
Marina put Mina to sleep. Bane was the one whipping her unconscious body.
Yeah,
but you see what you're saying.
Exactly. That's the story coming out of it. So
such a good.
It's Tony and Mina overcoming Marina and Bane, and then meeting the Sisters of Sin in the finals, and that's where the eventual win for Tony and Mina become.
Oh, he's already calling the tournament. I'm even predicting that. But that being said, since you are giving your predictions towards this tournament, and we'll see if that changed. Also, shut it, Ash. Go ahead and give your thoughts, Nick. We got 2 for the Sisters of Sin winning this and choosing the stipulation. Do you agree with JJ and Charles, or do you have a different team in mind that gets the stipulation for the semifinals? You just basically talked about how Tony and Mina are on a vendetta against Megan Bane and Marina and Shafir first, and that's the semifinals match.
Well, I think I just wanted to clarify that. So JJ wants to continue his point. I just wanted to clarify that.
No, it's okay because I was incorrect in the point I was going to make. So
it's all right, JJ. Again, we're keeping you in mind with the story. He's been out a few weeks for us for Hours of Passion, but also botch. Anyway, go ahead, Nick. Now give your pick.
I don't really give a fuck about this match.
Really?
This is an absolute waste of time.
Okay.
Why does this tournament need a stipulation match in the semifinals of the tournament? I would think the stipulation would come in the finals. No, but we need a stipulation. What? So what that's telling me is, I get they want to protect Megan and Mina, or Megan and Marina, but this is there could have been other creative ways to do this. So I could see Tony and Mina winning this match, but really, who gives a shit? Because this is pointless. This is one of those again. Tony, why? You don't need this. You're overcompensating for something that doesn't need to be this difficult.
All right, Nick. Well, again, I appreciate your outbursts towards this, but again, hindsight's 2020. Bringing convention, not doing tournaments in standard fashion. AEW being their own form of alternative nature and ring. But I do get what he's saying, and I can understand his point. I respect his point. But either way, I'm not saying no to what the fuck I'm going to get out of this, nor what it leads to in the tournament. As far as stipulation goes, stipulation be damned. Made the best and most deserving team win. And again, Ty J, you'll get your time in the sun eventually. Wins Enrico, great opener. And I'm actually going to go with, because it's funny, because the last time I saw a four-way Tammy Hater, I'm a hater, and Queen Amanada, they won and they got to choose their opponents. But
Noah, your audio keeps cutting in and out. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Was it the only one that heard that? That kind of threw me off. Holy shit. That threw me off.
Noah, you there?
Oh, this is awkward.
Yeah, I think he's speaking his audio right now. Yeah, he's testing it out.
Yeah. JJ?
I'm here.
Okay.
Oh, this is awkward.
I know the host can't talk.
So, how
Yeah, normally, and you're not the host for this, so
about
say more.
How
And
about
he was
that
waxing proxy on his thoughts on it. So it's like I can't read his brain and be like, so this is what Noah was saying, y'all.
I was gonna say it didn't help.
It's
You were saying
It would be
he
different
believes
if
in Chase.
Walter was talking because we share a brain. So I probably could have picked up where he was left
I was
off.
like, that's easy.
JJ, I can read lips. Noah was saying he believes in Chase U. It's an accredited college. He loves Tia Hell. He never met those
Uh-oh. I see moving his
So, something
his
about
head.
using his tax refund to enroll in Chase University, and he wants everyone to know that stat is not where it's at.
Uh-oh. He's taking off his shit. You know he's pissed.
We still can't hear you, brother.
Noah, we can't hear you.
He's like, really? What? God damn it. I gotta fix that fucking audio. God damn it.
Why can't this ever happen during karaoke nights? Then I can get out of singing.
why the hell? What you're talking about?
Hey!
You good, Noah? You good?
Fuck just happened a few minutes ago.
You were talking about your thoughts on the match, and then your audio completely cut. It started.
It just fully just shut off. Like somebody just said, "No, stop talking."
It fully shut off. Oh dear.
Yeah, like you didn't get robotic or anything. Like we would hear a word here, a couple of words there, but then we completely lost you. And that's the only reason I did the stat thing, because me and Emmanuel are like trying to like. So this is what Noah is saying.
Also, it was awkward, silent for us. I was like, "Oh shit, what do we do here? What do we do? Crap, what do we do?"
Decided to do comedy. So
there you go.
Say open mic night impromptu. All right, well then never mind. I take back my retort towards what I was about to do in chastising his favorite things and WWE. Anyway,
I was gonna say save it for when we get to the Her Mercedes match, because I'll say it again there, and you can do what you got to do, and it'll actually be relevant to the conversation. But
I'm about to say, rubbing the conversation. Mercedes Moné is more overrated than freaking Kim Kardashian's ass and Nia Jackson's whole and Thea Hell's chance of being world champion. Anyway, that being said, Emmanuel, go ahead and say your pitch towards this four-way match here. Now that I got my heart about whatever the fuck just happened. Damn.
What did Nia Jax ever do to you, Noah? Anyway,
she opened the fridge. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with Nick. Like this match, like I don't understand this match. When I first read it, I'm like, a stipulation match. Like, does that mean it's going to be in the finals? If that's the case, I know who we're going to be in the final. But if that's not the case, it's just the same match. Then what's the point of having the stipulation? Like, it's like we don't have nothing to give you, ladies, but here's a four-way tag team match for you to broadcast this tournament that we had. Like like why not have these two tag team matches in this pay-per-view and have the finale in the same pay-per-view? Why not do that? Why can't
I
we
don't
have
know.
that?
It makes me wonder if the finale of this tournament is going to be at World's End at this point, which would be really weird and really drawn out. Then again, I guess you could probably put the other match midway through December, but I'd be like, no. And I get Continental Classic. That's the men's focus. Doesn't mean the women can also be the focus here either. Personally, I look more forward to seeing who's the inaugurated Women's World Champions than this year's Continental Classic champion. That might be Master Kazuchika Okada. But anyway, booking aside, this is not AEW, the State of Booking 101 podcast. Save that for somebody that's tribalistic.
Yeah.
I'm not that. All right.
What I,
Yeah, no,
That's why it's so funny to hear some of this stuff coming out of Nick's mouth, because Nick is the furthest thing from tribalistic. He is
He's not a bit
he is an
tribalistic.
admitted AEW fanatic.
He's just
So
tired.
for
He's
him
just
to
burnt
be
out, basically.
as critical as he is over some of this stuff,
Right.
I find hilarious, but also very refreshing, because it is an AEW fanatic who is sick and tired of some of this shit that us quote unquote tribalists have been tired of for over a year.
like you know what I would have done in this instance? Why not make the semifinal matches here? Right? You could have easily split this match up into two semifinal matches, right? And if you wanted to do a 4-way women's tag team match, why not put all the 4 teams that didn't make the semis, put them in a 4-way 4 corners match, and that can be your number one contenders match for the tag team titles. Like this is a match that is unnecessary. It's a match like this and a match like Pac versus Darby that's not needed.
Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly.
Well,
Yeah.
no, but
the
I
stipulations
don't
on
feel
that.
it's needed on the pay-per-view.
if
It
you-
could very easily be the main event of Thanksgiving Eve Dynamite.
Now, I mean, you're right, and they might. Who knows? I just the reason why I think they're putting this on this pay-per-view is the fact that they're bagging Moxley. Like if
Well,
they don't kill and JJ, I don't know if you were there. Shout out to DJ and Ropes and Rock and Ropes. We said it. We were talking about it on their space, and DJ even said it. Like, dude, if Mox doesn't get killed this pay-per-view and gives us a little bit of a break from him, then what are we doing? Like,
I agree, though. I agree with whoever it was that said it. I don't think it's going to happen until World's End. It's going to be the end of the Death Riders world.
Yep. Accurate.
You know what's
All
what?
right.
Just like Mercedes
what?
may end up taking her first L at World's End, and it start unraveling Mercedes's world.
she's
That's
taking
something
two.
I've been saying for a minute.
She's taking 2 L's that night.
Yeah.
And when we get there, I'll tell you what I'll tell you my theory.
But
Yeah, we'll see.
You know what? Funny, what's funny? No, I still haven't made my prediction.
Right? Because y'all were talking about booking again. Again, the state of AEW booking. I didn't know there
I'm
was a booking
sorry,
this
I'm sorry,
podcast.
Noah, that it ends up turning into those type of conversations, but for better or for worse, we are all going to be critical of the product we see.
Yeah, I know that. I wouldn't expect it from you. Why you think I'm critical about WWE and PL's chances of being women's world champion and what your bitch is doing on SmackDown, which is Jack Diddley? Anyway, Emmanuel, go ahead and give your prediction. I wouldn't expect anything less from y'all.
But yeah, I'll expect Megan Bain and Marina Shafir. I gotta go there for the panel. These
right.
two women to win the title, this stipulation match. Why not? And then they can lose in that stipulation match. Why not? Like there has to be a way to promote, like to make the baby faces to like they just overcame the stipulation. So it doesn't matter what kind of match you put them through. They're gonna overcome the odds no matter what type of deal. That's what I'm thinking. But I could be wrong.
Bottom line is whoever wins this match is going to lose the match that the stipulation is in place for.
That I do believe in, by the way, and that's why I'm kind of like, and it's like, okay, which
Which
team do you have to lose here,
which is
basically?
which is another reason why I think the Sisters of Sin are going to win. Because despite the fact that I want them to win the titles, I don't see Nick's vision as far as the timeless love bombs thing.
All right.
I see the finals, unfortunately, being timeless. Less. I don't think Mina and Tony are going to get to the finals, unfortunately. I think it's going to be Willow and Harley versus Marina and Megan because of the overriding Death Rider story that's been going on all year and how Willow's been fighting them.
Yeah, and she said she would be the Death Rider's biggest problem. Wink, wink. And Harley
So
Cameron, of course, been looking for revenge against Megan Bane.
if Sky wants fire that badly, they can win the match, pick the stipulation, have it be something fire involved, like maybe a flaming tables match.
Let's not put that out in the ether. All right.
Sisters of Sin lose, and that's how the Babes of Wrath move forward.
All right. Fair enough. Again, I do love, again, the polarizing conversation and predictions. And again, the critical nature of this. So it's one of those things where, at least, again, we're having a dynamic conversation about wrestling. And that's what you want at the end of the day versus just everyone saying the same fucking thing. Gimmicks overkill aside, booking strategies aplenty that are questionable by all. Outlook of company versus company. That's just the way the wrestling world goes. But again, this predicting has turned far more into an AEW constructive criticism conversation than I thought it would. And again, I respect that outlook. And I'm sure we'll do more of the same during Survivor Series. That should just be called Survivor Series, but it's called War Games. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion at the end of the day. All right. I did see Charles had his hand up earlier after that little sub-tangent. Charles, what you got to say real quick?
One, JJ, it was I that said about World's End, just to say that to you. And second, no, did you give your pick? So we didn't hear it because of you having called
Yeah, his
completely.
technical difficulties.
So we didn't hear
see
you,
his
Noah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Shit. Fuck me. It does feel like when you put stipulations in play, you want the heels to have that control. You don't want to give the babyfaces a one-up because you have to imagine a babyface has to be the comeback, not the ones that are the front runner. Then again, the babyface team won't blood and guts for the men. I'm gonna say that because I'm also thinking about who actually would pick a stipulation. Willow Nightingale, she's bloody crazy. I know that her and Hardy will pick a stipulation. Time that story, Stormy and Chicago, they got a personal vendetta against Megan Bane and freaking Marina Shafir. And that might be their downfall. So I'm going to go with Tony Stormy and Shafir because I do agree with JJ. I don't think they're going to win and not lead the titles either. Right now, I've still got the Sisters of Sin as my front runners to take this. But looking at the long-term history of Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale with Megan Bane and Maria Shafir, a team brought out of circumstance, that makes a lot more sense, too, for them to actually win. And this being Harley Cameron's first accomplishment. Again, hindsight's 2020 as far as this tournament goes. But I'm going to say Tony Stormy and Shirakawa win this stipulation scenario. And I also agree with the outlook that, versus a couple other matches, I much rather have 4 women's matches on this card versus 2, especially if 3 of them imply the women's tag team division and the women's tag team championships. So good stuff all around by everybody. My pick, though, again, is Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. All right. Now moving on to our semi-main event, and again, like I said, I'm not gonna be that one-dimensional, tribalistic John Oliver tonight. Fuck this, fuck that, fuck you type person. I'm not gonna be that because I wasn't born that. And even though I do have a bunch of yahoos that may be that at times, whether constructive or critical or cynical, I am going to not be that. I'm going to give my prediction because I care about this title. I care about this champion. I care about this year-long payback to be due, and I care about the future of AEW. I care about this women's championship more than any championship right now in WWE's women. So that being said, we're going to talk about Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné, and I'm going to be eloquently simple in my prediction. Why JD is going to be a tribalistic twat, probably. And we're going to talk about Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné for the AEW Women's World Championship. Of course, this is Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander's third singles match in their respective careers. Last year, Mercedes Moné has compared Chris Statlander to her Charlotte Flair, pushing her to her limits. It was last year that Chris Statlander challenged Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship, not once, but twice, giving her two of her longest bouts in her AEW career and professional wrestling career in a long damn time. Last year at Full Gear and World's End, Chris Statlander lost, as she's lost friends, lost family, and has even been trying to figure out herself, finding that confidence in who she is and refocusing. The key word here is focus. The word of the day is focus, by the way, folks. While Mercedes Moné has been focusing on 250 different small things, and has already lost the big one once this year. Thank you for that, Safet. Of course, at AEW All In against Timeless Tony Storm. Mercedes Moné, who just won the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship this past Wednesday on Dynamite Collision against Red Velvet, unifying that title, and now has 14 different championships, and has also defended the TBS Championship a record 22 times. Why Chris Statlander surprised us all at AEW All Out, pinning the AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Tony Storm, and beating her in a follow-up at Wrestle Dream. Now going into, thank you, Ash, going into a match that's 1 year later to prove that Statlander has arrived and is here to stay and where it's at, and Mercedes Moné will never win the big one. A match of focus, a match of redemption, a match where Mercedes Moné is still trying to reach the unreachable legacy, while Chris Statlander continues to create history, being the first TBS champion to also hold the AEW Women's World Champion. So let's go around the horn and talk about this as eloquently as possible and get y'all's opinions on who leads Full Gear this Saturday, the AEW Women's World Champion. And simply put, Chris Statlander, here to stay. Simple as that. I'm going to stand by that. There's nothing you could say that will trigger me, although some of you guys are fuckheads. And there also is nothing that's going to change my mind eloquently. Let's go around the horn and get y'all's thoughts. Since we've already been talking verbatim about this, me and one person aside, we're going to start with him that might have his own diatribe and long-term storytelling and why he still believes that stat's not where it's at. No name and partisan. So let's go ahead and get everyone's thoughts. And before we do, I will say this, how many people? Not unanimous. 75% went with Chris Statlander, while 25% did go with the overrated Kim Kardashian levels of airheaded nonsense CEO Mercedes Moné. Okay, now that I got that all out and I finally got my opinion out there, let's go ahead and get everybody's thoughts, starting with the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. JJ's going to pick Moné, and then we'll move on to everybody else. So go ahead, JJ, and give your prediction.
I wish that I liked Stat more than I do. I honestly do, Noah. Because I think what you and everybody forgets is that when I first came into AEW wrestling, Stat was already out with her injury. When I first came into AEW, I gravitated towards one woman, your current WWE Women's Champion. And Stat is the one that dethroned her. It's not anything personal against Stat.
No, it's not.
It's just that I didn't get to see her really do anything prior to beating my bitch. And then she wins the title, has a very lackluster TBS title reign. Becomes an afterthought after losing the title, almost as if putting the title on her in the first place was a mistake. And now here we are here with her as the women's champion. Sorry for feeling this way, but I feel like Stat's role is essentially the same that Willow's role was with the TBS championship. Transitional to get it to Mercedes. I would much rather have Stat with the title because everybody knows how much I love me some Mercedes Moné.
Oh yeah, you spoke about it verbatim.
Running neck and neck with my love for Candice LeRae.
That's a different conversation.
But as good as the story can be of Mercedes not winning the big one, Tony has invested way too much money. And she's got 14 championships now. That what do those other championships mean if she can't win the women's championship of the company she's contracted to?
There you go. And that's for y'all also to debate on as well. 250
That's
different small things versus one
yeah.
big thing.
It's simple as that. She can be the TV champion of Ring of Honor, which has no television deal.
Correct.
So how relevant is that? She can be the TBS champion for AEW and rarely ever defended on TBS. So what's the point in that?
Actually, she's defended quite a bit on TBS. That's the one thing I will give her credit for. In fact, most of her defenses have been on TBS.
She's been a decent fighting champion. I will give her that, but I seem to hear about. I won't say see because I've acknowledged I've been out of the product for a while.
Yes.
But I seem to hear about a lot more pay-per-view defenses for her than I do television defenses.
That is fair. She's defended it on each pay-per-view. She wasn't involved in a tournament or challenging, of course, Thomas Story Storm for their Women's World Championship at All In. Her only loss this calendar year.
So that's why I say rarely defending on TBS. Because I hear about her defending it more on pay-per-views. And as great as it is that she's defending them on pay-per-views, it's not TBS.
5 defenses on TBS, 6 defenses on pay-per-view this calendar year alone.
Okay.
At least one defense each month, except for June and April.
And that's good. But that's 5 defenses in a 52-week year.
On TV.
Yeah. That's not a fighting television champion.
No.
So therein lies my point. These belts mean nothing if she is not the world champion of the company she's contracted to. I don't care if she's got the Saskatchewan heavyweight championship, the Nigerian heavyweight championship, the Melbourne heavyweight championship.
Saskatchewan.
You know, I don't care if she has the Beijing heavyweight championship. None of that shit fucking matters.
All right.
If she's not the AEW women's champion.
To put in perspective, when Chris Statlander, you say like Luster, and again, you weren't there for the whole thing. When she was the TBS champion, she had 15 defenses during her 6-month-long reign.
Yeah.
All on television.
Case in point.
Yeah, who's the more fighting champion? You tell me. All right. Well, that being said.
So yes, I'm picking Mercedes, not because I want to, Noah.
I know.
But logic dictates.
There's the word.
I know. Mm-hmm. Logic dictates that Mercedes needs to win this championship. She just united the interim and the real Ring of Honor TV championship.
Mm-hmm.
What was the point of that if she loses on Saturday? That match means jack shit.
I mean, it meant jack shit to begin with, if I'm being perfectly honest.
It did. Congratulations, Red Velvet. You're back from injury. Lose the fucking belt.
Accurate.
It's almost as bad as, hey, we just had 2 matches inside a double steel cage. How are we going to top that? I know. Steel cage match.
Yeah, from one cage to another. I'm like, why? Here's why. Coming from sketch
And
watch,
people blame WWE for burning match stipulations to the ground.
they started it. AEW is just following it. What one does, the other one proceeds. What's originality anymore, JJ? It doesn't exist.
You're right. It doesn't exist, but AEW is supposed to be the counter to it, not the carbon copy of it.
I never consider them a counter. I just consider them something different versus WWE style, but it does slowly seem like they're assimilating that. And again, fucking hate it. Well, that being said, eloquently put, Mercedes Monet, Chris Statlander. And
So
again,
other than Noah, does anybody think Stat is winning? Raise your hand.
yeah, about to say, go ahead and let y'all's thoughts, Avatar and Emmanuel, as they are thinking based on what everyone said. And again, he used the word logic. And also, I'm just going to say this. I don't follow contracts, and I sure as hell don't give a fucking crap about top 1% in wrestling or in this world. So that's another reason why the working class should win the Brazzers Championship. She's not even worried about a Pornhub app account. Anyway,
That
that
needs
being
to be
said,
Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa.
don't give them ideas. Next thing you know, they're going to have a Blue Chew endorsement. Before this becomes way too far up innuendo style, shut it, both of you down the bottom.
Hey, all I'm going to say is if you look at any of the women in that 4-woman tag team match or the 2 here, and you need Blue Chew, you're the one with a problem.
Or an insecurity. Like
because as much as I dislike Mercedes, she's still a fucking smoke show. If I walked into my room and found her naked in my bed, I'm not kicking her out because I fucking hate Mercedes.
Okay, JJ.
Just saying.
What
And
the
I don't think
fuck?
anybody on this panel is disagreeing with me.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Jesus Christ. All right, that being said,
Even Safet, who I chew out from time to time, is with me. I would bet even Ash agrees with me on that comment.
all right. This is becoming something way too rated R, all right, for simply predicting, all right? What a freaking sub-tangent. Get that off there. Fucking hell. All right, that being said, it's one Chris Statlander, one Mercedes Monet. Nothing but love to you, JJ. May we continue to always be opposite because of these great conversations. 75% in favor of the champion, 25% in favor of Mercedes Monet. What's her contract like? Is AEW fed up with her? The fact she never wins the big one, if she loses again, which she should Saturday, by all of God's good grace, may she. If she does, are we finally going to see the downfall of the CEO? Can we confirm she will never be world champion? That being said, well, let's get your thoughts on this. Oh, fucking hell, Ash.
I am going to say one more thing before Emmanuel takes it.
Go ahead,
I
brother.
pity the day, Noah, when we see eye to eye on every fucking thing. Part of what I love about our dynamic is how polar opposite we are.
This is accurate. And I don't think that's ever going to change with me as long as I stay the simple man that I am. Simple as that. Whether I see you in Las Vegas or California next year. That being said, Ash apparently does agree with you regarding the women's 4-way. And I'm just going to say this real quick in conclusion. You pathetic, gender indifferent, weak-minded simpletons. All right. Emmanuel, your thoughts on this Women's World Championship match? Who do you have winning and leaving with the AEW Women's World Championship?
My only concern, is this. Like, I want to have Chris Statlander win. Don't get me wrong.
But
There's a small, there's a small possibility that Tony Khan saw the BWI Mercedes #1 for a reason.
Polarizing popularity contest.
How can she be #1 if she doesn't have her own damn company's main title? How can she be even #1? If Tony Khan really wants to kayfabe this, we gotta see a new champion on Wednesday. Celebration. Her holding the AEW Women's Champion. I don't want to say it. There's a small possibility of that happening, Noah. So, for the love of God, if you're hearing me, God, this is me and Noah praying to you right now. Please don't let Mercedes win that AEW championship. I'm sorry for those two people who are not religious, but this is a praying moment. Please do not have her walk away with that title. We don't need to see it.
All
My
right.
pick. My pick is Chris Statler.
Okay. Very, very good. And Ash, again, we love and respect you for that. And as an advocate of women's wrestling, I love that sub tangent. Okay, well, thank you, Emmanuel. All right, and Nick came back. His phone must have not blown up, so let's go ahead and get his thoughts now. He's back, and we'll close this one out with Charles. Nick, your
No,
thoughts on the AEW Women's World Championship. Chris Statlander, Mercedes Moné, 3. What do you guys say?
I agree with you. I see the story. I see the vision. It's just we have to let it play out. I get everybody's thing is how can she be number one if she doesn't hold the number one? But that's not the story. Story is she can't win it because she's so preoccupied of this global dominization that she can't win the one that matters most. So I have Stat retaining, but the question is, when was the last time Mercedes defended the TBS title on pay-per-view? Pretty sure it was All Out,
That's correct.
right? Because she didn't do it at Full Gear, or she didn't do it at Wrestle Dream.
Yes, she did. It was title for title against Mina Shirakawa. I took that back with the
Oh,
interim
okay.
Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. So technically, it was literally last month on pay-per-view.
Okay, so she was. I think she pulls double duty because remember, the woman that she broke her record defended the TBS title twice in the same night on this exact pay-per-view. Remember when Jade did it when she defended it against somebody and then lost it to Chris of all people.
Double or nothing.
I would not be shocked if the Good Doctor, Mrs. DMD, comes out after, and you have an impromptu TBS title match, and therein lies Mercedes' second loss in one night.
That would really warm my heart, honestly.
And thus begin her downward spiral.
All right.
And that's where I come to you, Nick, and I'm like, she's not going to start losing her titles until World's End. World's End is a prophetic title because it is going to be the end of some of these worlds we've seen these last couple years in AEW.
It was the end of MJF's world, of course, and Samoa Joe beat him in his hometown. It was the end of the Continental Classic. Again, context aside, sometimes a show's actual name actually means something. So he's not wrong there.
I agree.
All right, but I also do agree that Bringer DMD, who has a long term to Chris Statlander, might I add, it was Chris Statlander's last singles TBS title defense. So there's history there too with these AEW originals. And I would love to see Britt Baker and Chris Statlander. Hell, the last time Chris Statlander had a chance at the AEW Women's World Championship was against Britt Baker DMD 4 years ago at AEW All Out. And Britt beat her.
And it was Tony on Ariel Hawani's podcast who said he's a big fan of DMD. He's very high on DMD. DMD is still part of the company. And he's trying to find ways to introduce her. So
I would respect that because at the end of the day,
yes,
you want to bring somebody on. Go ahead, JJ.
If you didn't see that interview, Noah, watch it.
I most certainly will.
Because, and here I'm going to say something positive. It is the best interview I've ever seen Tony Khan do.
Really?
It's not like you see him in the scrums where he's kind of prepared for shit and he tap dances around stuff.
Oh, I don't even watch the scramble, so it's like
We all used to. We all used to. But I think after pretty much after Brawl In, Brawl Out, and that shit, like people just stopped giving a shit about the scrums.
oh, okay, fair enough.
But it is legitimately the best interview I've ever seen Tony Khan do. They went like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours,
Yeah.
I think. And Tony Khan didn't dance around anything. He was very open, pretty much answered every question Ariel Helwani threw at him.
I mean,
Respect.
the one,
Killer
the couple,
Cross, Miro, Andrade, CM Punk, Britt Baker. He answered questions about all of them.
he even answered questions about WB.
WWE's counter programming, how he
Yep.
feels about it. Like, I was seriously thinking about bringing the interview up on Shenanigans this week. So I definitely would recommend watching it so that you're caught up on it.
Sorry for stealing your thunder, JJ.
It's all good.
About what?
That's why I paused in. I wanted to make sure JJ guys point out because you all know that I don't really like, follow any feeds, any news, or watch anything like that. The last podcast I watched was unrestricted when Chris Statlander, of course, talked about her year information. And that's, of course, why I picked her at AEW Out, and I was right. I haven't seen AEW Studio up for Full Gear preview. I'm curious to see if they're going to have a guest there that might speak. But that being said, you actually intrigued me to go actually listen to this interview. So I will definitely watch this come today, and I will definitely be prepared to give thoughts on it or lead a conversation on it if need be on the Weekly Myers Conversation Wrestling Madness called Shenanigans if I have to fill in, as it seems I've been doing that more often than not if I have to. But thank you for that food for thought, and thank you, Nick. That being said, Statlander, Monet. Charles, you close this thing out. And also Ashes, Chris Statlander as well. Preaching the gospel. Charles, what do you stand on? Yeah, and Safet, of course.
I'm the only one picking Mercedes so far. Don't disappoint me, Charles. You're my only hope.
About to say, it's not the first time JJ's been the odd one out, but it's also not the first time JJ made us eat crow. And I will give you credit where credit's due, bro. You've been right on numerous occasions, but you've also been wrong more times than not, particularly when it comes to this company and trying to induce logic into it. Anyway, that being said, let's go ahead, Charles, and get your thoughts to close this semi-main event out. What do you guys say about Mercedes and Chris Statlander? Go ahead.
JJ, I was planning on joining you anyway. So you're good. I was always planning on doing that.
He's playing the Walter role because Walter Cruz is, of course, asleep right now. Again, folks, you haven't already subscribed to Rage Wrestling Walter Cruz.
That beside difference is I've been following Chris Statler since beginning, of course. So that's like the one difference. But I still understood JJ's points and everything else, which is why I'm still siding with him on this. And this is Mercedes' second shot. She's winning the title.
All right, we'll see what happens. I still think third
I
time
can't just because every time you bet against Mercedes, you look like a fool in the end.
Except the big one. All in. I rest my case. That being said, 250 small ones will never amount to the one big one. And if she's satisfied with that, whatever. As long as it doesn't mean that she rules over Chris Statlander and the AEW Women's World Championship. As me and Emmanuel and Ash have prayed to the good Lord up above. And there is a God, and he is kind. All right. And closing remark, as much as I want Statlander to retain, I'm hoping for the best while expecting the worst. And that, folks, is the definition of professional wrestling, no matter what company you watch or who you're watching. Simple as that. Okay, well, that being said, we've had a lot of polarizing back and forth discussion, a lot of unique analysis, predictions, some critical booking, constructive criticisms, a lot justified in one person's opinion versus a conglomeration here that has agreed or disagreed. And at the end of the day, that's what City Predicting mostly is all about, but also it's about being wrestling fans with an open mind, not being tribalistic, because I don't believe in tribalism. I believe that everyone's entitled to their opinions, and you can speak constructively about anything versus being cynical about one thing. So let's go ahead and get right into what most likely will be our main event for the AEW Men's World Championship. And again, It's a rematch, a rage in the cage, if you will, as Heyman and Page, far less than 100%, defends the gold one more time against Samoa Joe. God almighty. Samoa Joe and Heyman and Page met for the first time one-on-one in their respective careers at Wrestle Dream, where Heyman and Page was able to beat Joe with a couple of buckshot lures, but it was not an easy outing, as Samoa Joe kicked his ass. Following that, there was no respect shown as Samoa Joe and the Odds went full heel and dropped Heyman and Page on the World Championship with a muscle buster. Heyman and Page has a compromised neck ever since. So honestly, it's been compromised since the friggin' Kyle Fletcher match at AEW All Out. Goddamn. That being said, we've recently shown on Dynamite and Collision how Heyman and Page has systematically taken out the Odds, sending Hobbs to the hospital in that Falls Count Anywhere match, and Lobo and neutralizing Katsuyori Shibata, as Samoa Joe is left all alone. But Samoa Joe says that he will be Heyman and Page's inevitable end. Let's not forget, Samoa Joe is a former AEW World Champion, and while everyone may be looking beyond this, they are also talking about a man that has history with both of these men, who still has a guaranteed world title shot to come of his choosing 1 week later, and that is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, who has not been seen since the tables and tax match at AEW All Out to lose to Mark Briscoe and going on a journey of self-discovery. And prior to that, he faced him and Adam Page earlier this year at Forbidden Door for that title. He also lost the AEW World Championship to Samoa Joe at World's End 2 years ago. So as MJF might literally be looming sooner rather than later, it right now has him and Page, Samoa Joe inside steel cage. And for those that haven't watched AEW, this steel cage is actually about keeping people in, don't hold my breath, but it also is not about a floozy coward way out. Escape means jack shit. The only way to win is pinfall or submission inside the cage. And there is no disqualification. So that being said, let's go around the horn and see if you believe there will be a new AEW Men's World Champion. And it's Samoa Joe, Heyman and Page is undoing, or somebody else that we're not thinking about here or that I haven't mentioned. Heyman and Page has a very mixed bag lately as of late on Full Gear, if you've all remembered. The last 2 years in a row, he's lost. He lost his first string in that Texas Death match in 2023, and he lost to Switchblade Jay White last year when he lost his damn marbles. So let's see if Heyman and Page can do it 3 years later. Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think. We'll start first and foremost with Nick this time to close things out because I'm sure he's tired. Nick, your thoughts on the AEW Men's World Championship. Heyman and Page, Samoa Joe 2, this time inside steel cage. Does Samoa Joe do it where it looks like he's at the tail of his career, or does Heyman and Page somehow survive again as we approach the new year? What do you gotta say?
Yeah, I'm pretty beat. So I'm probably just gonna answer this and dip on out of here.
I appreciate you.
Honestly speaking, I think I can't see Joe winning because of the fact that MJF still has that contract. I've said it for months beforehand. It's just the natural progression of where I think things go. I think Hangman doesn't drop this title until he drops it to MJF. And then MJF doesn't drop this title until Will comes back in 26 and wins it at All In. So I have Hangman retaining.
All right, fair enough. And with that being said, as you're about to dip out and your order's been fulfilled, shout out to Mrs. Ferrantes, and may you both have a good night, and we'll see you Saturday night after the pay-per-view for shenanigans. Take care, brother. And,
yeah, we'll see you boys. We'll see you boys later. I'll let you know if I'm on the call or anything. I'll let you guys know.
All right, sounds
Later,
good.
boys.
And, all right, later, man. Good night. And then there were 4. And Ash, you know you're welcome on the call as well. As Ash gets her thoughts real quick, and then we'll go to Charles here in a moment. Ash says, I don't get why this needed to be a cage match. Most people don't. As much as I've been enjoying the build-up to this comes across as a placeholder feud until MJF returns. Heyman and Page retains. So we got 2 Heyman and Pages so far. Charles, it's not unanimous, though. 81% with Heyman, 90% with Samoa Joe. This will be Heyman's, I believe, 4th defense now of the AEW World Championship during the second run, where at least each defense has had context this time. So what do you think about this? Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I agree. Why do we need to make this a cage match? It's so dumb. But I'm not going to go on that rant. I already ranted enough tonight.
You sure you have it? You're still here somehow, and you still have a voice.
Well, I haven't fully gone that crazy.
Neither have I. But then again, I've always been
Give
restrained.
it one day on a Silver Predictor for any company. That might happen.
Fair enough.
And it'll be free of charge. There you go.
Free of charge. Go ahead.
Look, I had to say it.
Yeah,
But
that's fair enough.
as far as this goes, yeah, I agree. It's a foregone conclusion. Heyman's retaining. And I was considering if MJF has been done now with his film stuff at this point. I expect to hear MJF's music at the end of the night to remind us, oh yeah, we still got him to worry about. And then probably on Dynamite we announce the match for World's End.
How poetic. All right, fair enough. Heyman and
Straight to the
Page it
point.
is. Yeah, simple as that. All right, JJ, what do you think about this? You've been a very polarizing opinion about the Hangman since, his past. But again, everybody eventually pays for their sins and also tries to find forgiveness for them. And we've seen this man baptized by fire these last 2 years on a road to hell, coming to light at Double or Nothing and regaining the AEW World Championship and freeing it from that briefcase in that Texas death match. Redundancy aside, inside the cage, it is one of those things where MJF and Heyman Page have been the story of AEW and the World Championship since day one. It's also one of those things where MJF, we know he's got to come back for not only the fact he has that contract, you also know, as not made official yet, winter is coming, and he has to defend that Dynamite Diamond ring. So MJF's going to be on our screens here sooner rather than later. And I'm sure he has not forgotten Heyman and Page, who beat him to defend this championship, and Samoa Joe, who beat him for it when he actually had it at World's End. So does MJF's new world begin, and does he propose a resolution as soon as Saturday following the conclusion of this? And if so, against who? What do you think about this match?
The thing that keeps going through my mind, and while I agree that it's almost a foregone conclusion here that Hangman is going to retain, the thing that keeps going through my mind is how Joe beat MJF 2 years ago at World's End.
MJF was extremely banged up.
Could Joe win the title here? MJF cash in his casino gauntlet and take the title off of Joe at World's End this year.
I've actually been thinking about
making that come full circle.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about that a lot, which is why I said resolution. Continue. This one.
That's an interesting dynamic to contemplate here. Because even though Joe versus Max would be heel versus heel technically, there's the history there.
Yep.
And while it would make more sense for Max to take the belt off of Hangman, who's a de facto babyface right now, to the point that's been brought up off and on all night, there's some of us that actually like stories. And when something can be maybe not intentionally, but woven into a way that makes it seem like it was a long-term story, there's certain fans that will chew that up and love it and digest it and come back for more. We've said 100 times we already expect MJF to be champion for Ospreay to beat.
Yes, we
The
have.
question becomes, when do we give Max that title?
Mm-hmm.
How long of a run do you want Max to have with it?
Be as long as reigning champion.
You know, I Other than Swerve versus Hangman, which I think we need to get back to eventually, what is there for Hangman to do as champion? I feel like there's not. This is what I hate about Hangman as champion. And personal bias be damned, because I still blame him for the downward spiral that began the AEW downfall, coming out and cutting that promo on CM Punk.
Right.
But all that be damned. There's a reason why I haven't changed my opinion on MJ or on Hangman being the worst AEW champion they've had. The money with Hangman is in the chase. He wins it. He achieves it. Woo, yay, streamers. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. When it comes to babyface champions, Hangman has got to be one of the worst in history. You know, and you can't give me the argument about babyface champions don't draw. Look at Hulk Hogan. Look at John Cena. Look at, some of the others. I almost said The Rock, but The Rock never even had a lengthy championship run.
Exactly. I was about to say.
But John Cena held that title for almost an entire year. Hogan held it for damn near 4 years as babyface champions. Arguably two of the Mount Rushmore, depending on where you sit. I know, Emmanuel. Don't give me that crazy look.
Not a here nor there. Continue, JJ.
But Hangman as a babyface champion just doesn't have the interest and the intrigue. Again, everyone expects him and Swerve as a feud. Hangman feuded with Swerve when he was champion. It only seems right that Swerve feud with Hangman now that he's champion. Whether it's out of respect, since they were teaming together when Swerve and Ospreay got injured, or it's just, going back to the whole, one's a heel, one's a babyface. I don't care. But other than that feud, and who knows when Swerve is going to come back, there's just not enough there for Hangman.
If he wasn't injured, the only other person I put in the conversation, JJ, who had Heyman's number not once but twice, is Switchblade Jay White, who beat him last year at Full Gear.
And we don't know when Switchblade is coming back. I want to walk with the Switchblade again.
Me too!
It's bad enough that the Honeycomb guy, switched his look up and he doesn't look like the Honeycomb guy no more.
Oh, come on, Fed. Juice Robinson.
Tell me I'm lying.
You're not lying.
Before he came back, he looked like the Honeycomb dude.
He did, but he got more, toned up, toned down. He looked more respectful, Anyway.
Then he cut his hair, shaved. I'm like, damn. Tony must have some good, to have him whipped into changing his look that drastically.
Well, anyway, he also said on a closeout he didn't want to be known as the Honeycomb guy verbatim because you're not the only one who made that comparison. Anyway, continue.
Because it was funny.
It was funny, and the Bang Bang game for a while.
It's just like how The Rock turned a throwaway line about Cena looking like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles into a Fruity Pebble fucking endorsement for John Cena. Like, literally, if Tony Khan was smart, he could have had Juice Robinson doing Honeycomb commercials with the little Honeycomb character, and that could have been money.
I was say there's probably a whole lot of red tape with doing that too, but continue. Still.
So this is the match I'm the most torn on. Because while I think everyone is kind of on things about it being a foregone conclusion of Hangman retaining, I almost think there's more money in Joe winning. Because then you run back Joe Heyman. You have him come back at Winter is Coming, defend the Diamond Ring, announce that he's cashing his match in at World's End. You have him dethrone Joe at World's End. You give him the run until we go to All In London, Wembley. And then you do the drop to Ospreay at Wembley. And you
Bruv.
get another good 6-7 month run out of MJF, the cocky, arrogant heel champion who people are going to want to chase, who can throw his new Hollywood success, Rock style, into things, making him an even more egotistical son of a bitch.
Accurate.
I don't know, man. Like, I have until whatever time you said to change. So right now, I'm going to say that Samoa Joe wins.
7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday night.
I'm going to say
All
Joe
right.
wins. And I see that Charles has his hand up.
Thank you for that, good sir. Okay, I'm just gonna say this again, like I said with you, JJ. You and I don't always meet on the same wavelength. You and I will never see fully eye to eye, even though it was on Sweet Lad. That was always one of my favorite songs and favorite movies. But believe it or not, there is a small portion of me, 5 to 10%, that sometimes agrees with you wholeheartedly. And this is one of those things where I'm like, okay, if Samoa Joe doesn't win, yeah, he may be wrapping up soon, just like Tanahashi, just like John Cena, just like Nana Takahashi did this year, just like Michael Satomura did this year. But he could be the guy to transition because the history of MJF. And yeah, him and MJF in the day one story of AEW. But when do you close that? When do you close that full circle? When does this stop being the Randy Orton, John Cena, or is that what it's going to be forever? It's just one of those things. Stop me when I'm telling lies. I'm torn on this too, and it's so sudden that we're doing this again. It almost feels like we should go to the best of three. Joe wins here. Heyman gets one last chance. Hell, it's Finn Balor and Samoa Joe from my NXT all over again, with Finn Balor beat him in a steel cage at the end. NXT TakeOver at the end. But I don't know. And it does make sense for Samoa Joe to be that guy who once shoved MJF, the security guard, when he walked out as NXT champion, all the way back at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, to pass it off to MJF as the future of AEW. I'm kind of torn too, but for right now, I am going against you. I am going to say that Heyman's going to retain because unless freaking Hook all of a sudden decides to go back to Samoa Joe and turn on him and turn on the Kingdom again, another totally different WTF moment, thinking about tailgate brawl, I just don't see Samoa Joe winning. I don't. All right, Charles, I saw your hand. What you gotta say?
What I was going to say is regards to the whole. I'm thinking Osprey is going to be the one challenging the belt at London. Are we even sure Osprey even going to be back in time for the Owen next year?
I mean,
And it,
he's almost like Super Cena, and he did get successful neck surgery, so who knows, honestly, when it comes to that, bruv. I'm just saying. Well, Osprey's not human.
that's like the one thing I'm just thinking like, if Osprey's not good to go for the Owen, then has to be someone else. Unless they prolong AJF holding the title pass all in, so when Osprey's fully medically cleared to come back and do the title drop at another AW pay-per-view later in the year.
I get that, Charles, but at the end of the day, it's fucking Wembley Stadium.
I get
Literally
it.
Osprey stomping grounds.
I get it, but it depends if he's good to go. It's
That's
all
that's fair too. We've already seen how many subtangents change with the new revision. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Anyway, okay. All right. Well, we got a Samoa Joe. We got a Hangman. The majority is going with Hangman. And Charles, you're also going with Hangman, I believe, right?
yes.
So that just leaves Emmanuel. Emmanuel, where do you stand in this? Is it 50-50 right now? Are you with JJ again and Samoa Joe? Do you think Heyman retains? What do you think the outlook is on the Men's World Championship as we wrap this thing up? Been a hell of a conversation.
Yeah. First of all, screw you, Apple laptop. Like, for no, it's true. Like, it says this orange is charging and it dies on me. Go
That,
figure. Like,
this is your simple, friendly IT guy telling you that Apple fucking sucks. Anyway, continue.
yeah, yeah. So screw you, Apple. Anyways, uh, uh, for me, this NJF, has the Collier shot gauntlet match, right?
Yes,
If okay, just making sure.
he still
Like,
has the
yeah, I
contract.
remember. Yeah, that's right. I thought that he had it. I
Remember,
think.
though, the difference is when he calls it, the champion and the challenger get 1 week to prepare for the match. It does not happen instantaneous. Continue.
Okay. All right. I have Hangman retaining this match. To be honest, like, yes, Samoa Joe, like, it's credible. Like, I get but my worry is this for Hangman.
Do
We
tell.
get it's like kind of like Cody Rhodes, like, in scenario right now. That both are having their second title run, and they both feel like afterthoughts. They really don't like. But credit to Adam Page, like, he has a little bit more momentum than Cody Rhodes. But at this point, it's like, what do you do with them next? Like, like, opponents? Like, when do you pull the trigger for MJF to face him? Like, do you have somebody else destroying Adam Page type of scenario? Like, but that's my only worry. Like, do they just hope for Will Ospreay to defeat Adam Page? Like, it's those scenarios. Like, it makes me wonder: can can they push the uphill momentum? Because right now it's like, since there are two major wrestlers, Will Ospreay and George Strickland, it's injured. It's like, you really don't have those two, like, stars to make a challenge, like, or like, you're automatically thinking, oh, that, why am I watching? Like Moxley is not even challenging Adam Page anymore. He already, like, he's doing his own thing. Like, there's no major heel, you know, that's credible enough for him to lose the title against. And we're here talking about Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe has fell for me ever since he lost the AEW champion. I felt he's gone to the barrel. Like, I don't even feel like he's AEW material, like champion material at this point of his career. Like, if he's winding down his career, like it doesn't make sense for him to hold the title at this point of his career. Would it be a good story? Yeah, probably. But I disagree with JJ, like, about the hip hop detailing, the title. Then, like, I don't know, like, it just feels like there's more problems that they need to either needs to find credible opponents for Alan Page at this point of the game. Like, they really need to find somebody to be credible to defeat him, because Samoa Joe, what he was, what, a trios champion for for a while, and
He still is.
yeah, he still is,
Yeah.
and we have to believe he's gonna beat the AEW champion. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, how can you make a trio act, like, go for the main title? It's like, like, I don't know.
All right, I do see what you mean. I was just thinking of, like, just some names that could maybe challenge him, like, out of the blue, but when we come to a classic season, I almost wonder if the World Championship will be put to the wayside. I think of Roosh. If Okada didn't have the Unified Championship, I still want to see Buckshot Lariat versus Rainmaker at some point. These two have never faced each other one on one, which is a damn shame in my opinion. Uh, but I do see what you mean when it comes to making it mean more. And I think that's the problem with the business right now. World championships do not have caliber challengers to endorse for the future. Unless you're looking right now at AEW, that has the long-term MJF and possible Ospreay, WWE, Braun Breaker, and blank. But I do see what you mean. I did see your hand there. You have anything you want to add regarding Mayo's point before we close this out? But anyway, you are right now the odd one out.
The problem is that AEW just, I'm going to sound like a negative Nelly, and I don't mean to come off that way, but they just haven't invested the time in creating the stars.
Right. We talk about Kyle Fletcher, but he's TNT champion. He already had his first big shot. I do think the future's there with Kyle Fletcher, but besides that, I do see your point. Continue.
You know, even if you go through the list of former champions for the company, Jericho,
Chris
on his
Jericho,
way out,
Kenny
Omega, diverticulitis, Hangman, current champ, Punk, WWE,
Bryan Danielson
MJF,
retired.
out filming,
Yep.
Joe, trios champ. You
Yep.
know, Swerve,
Legacy.
injured.
Yes.
Osprey, not a former champ, injured. All your top caliber champions are either out for one reason or another, or on their way out, or have left the company. You know, Moxley just lost the title. God knows we don't need to give it back to him. We're talking about trying to bag him in this episode. We don't need him fucking becoming champion again.
Not for a long time.
You know? And then if you really want to break it down, Jericho, former WWE talent. Omega came from New Japan. Punk, former WWE talent back in WWE. Joe, former WWE TNA talent. Swerve, former WWE NXT talent. So a good chunk of the people that have been their champion, Moxley, former WWE champion, is Ambrose. A lot of the guys that have held their primary prize are guys that they got from other companies. So they haven't spent the time building and creating stars, top level talent. The couple people that they have that could be still have time before they get to that level. But the whole concept of the pillars disappeared seemingly by the time that I came into AEW fandom. Because Jack Perry isn't in the main event.
No.
Sammy Guevara is in Ring of Honor Hell. And Darby Allin is the closest they've come next to MJF. But for whatever reason, Darby seems to not want it.
Correct.
And if you're not in the company to win the champ, if you're not in the wrestling business to be world heavyweight champion, get your ass out of the business. You should want to be the top person. If you don't, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the AEW title picture. It's very similar in WWE. So don't think that I'm, just a negative Nilly when it comes to AEW. But the difference is that, again, to a point I tried to make earlier, AEW wanted to be the counter to WWE. They wanted to be the yin to the yang. They wanted to be different.
Yeah.
But if you really examine the companies, they're way more similar than either tribe wants to give the other one credit for.
Yes.
And that's not good. Because if they're too similar, there's no reason to watch the other one.
No.
And therein lies the problem.
It's just one of those things where I don't know.
I'll step off my pedestal now.
No, you're fine. I just want to make sure that you got everything out there, and I respect that take. And again, we literally just talked about see this. Believe it or not, folks, you just heard me and JJ agree 10% on actual accurate facts about both these cards when it comes to the value of the championships, the point of the champions, the future. Anyway, I
For
don't know. It's
yeah,
just
for
a
those like
go ahead, Manuel.
I'm about to say for those AEW fans, like they're in far worse shape. So don't like. So this is a good thing for AEW. At least they have a chance. Right now, they're in real big trouble in the
But I
main
mean,
title.
as long as they got enough blood money out of their wallets to rely on the part timers with the seven-figure dollar amounts and Cody Rhodes, the full-time worker, as we got WrestleMania around the horizon, they should be fine for a duration. But I do agree to your point and to Ash's point. Name one company right now that has a champion with worthy caliber challengers for the future, male or female at this point, that holds a world title. I'll wait.
Do, do, do.
The only one person I can say is different right there. At least they're doing something with her.
She's facing Nikki Bella. Are you fucking kidding me?
She's a former champion. Like what you?
Who gives a fuck? She's a diva. Why is Lyra? Why is it Ivy Nile? Why is it Raquel Gonzalez? Well, she had her chance. What did you? No. Not going on a sub tangent. Not going on a sub tangent. Not going on a sub tangent. I said I was going to be good tonight. Fuck it. But this is not a dirty rant. You want me to rant about
I
that?
was
Go
I
ahead,
was
Jake.
gonna say NXT. The NXT women's division still is promising. The NXT women's division is still the best women's division going stateside.
And yet, Tatum Paxley can't hold a title for now the shortest champion that's come in history, and the only reason she won is because we had a Halloween spoof. All right, whatever. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation for another day. We're not here to talk about that. Stay tuned, folks. That'll be a Saturday Shenanigans topic. The state of championships and the value of the champions in wrestling. Is it worth anything? Yes or no? You be the opinionators on that. That being said, though, bottom line, main event scenes need an overhaul in this business. And I don't know right now, Samoa Joe's the guy to be the catalyst to MJF's return back to where he was in the most promise. Again, longest reigning AEW World Champion, might I add. Some of the best 10 matches in AEW history against Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, just to name a few. Hell, the last great story that people invested in that didn't even know AEW was him and Adam Cole, baby. So, again, and Safet, you're not wrong, except at the end of the day, AEW is not as greedy as WWE, nor are they WWE. And again, could be good, could be bad, they're not that, but they exist still for a reason and a much more affordable price, thankfully. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. Bottom line, 3 people said Hangman Adam Page, 1 said Samoa Joe, and the majority is going with Hangman. As I look at the closing comments here, MJF returns and will announce that he will talk to Tony Khan about cashing in his contract, and it will be at World's End, or he cashes in right there on Saturday. I hope Mercedes loses. Bitch don't need another belt. She doesn't defend the one she has anyways. For those that are wondering, that was not me, but I do agree. Fuck Mercedes Monet. Damn. Wow, JJ. Surprised you didn't.
How many comments on there are about Mercedes Monet?
Just the 2. Someone said, nope. Someone said, let's go. Can't wait. And another person said, nope. As we got 21 predictions in so far. So again, folks, we head into Full Gear. What are your expectations for this Saturday's pay-per-view? What titles do you see changing hands? Do you see Mercedes Moné being put in her place? Who do you see winning that fatal 4-way to decide the future of their semifinal match stipulation? Does Darby Allin once again burn in Inferno or rise in a blaze of glory against the Bastard Pac? Do we see any titles change hands? And who leaves the $1 million wager becomes the inaugural AEW National Champion? It's a who's who caveat of this and that and the miscellaneous aside. And we might see a new family member or family members leave the family Saturday night. But either way, Saturday night is sure to be a wild endurance ride of professional wrestling, mixed delight, as AEW pay-per-views don't miss, but do leave you with more questions than answers when it comes to what's ahead. What we do know is ahead is the Continental Classic next week, Wednesday, and I hope that we do get to find out who will be involved in that, if not this Saturday, maybe shortly afterwards, as I'm more looking forward to Thanksgiving Dynamite than this pay-per-view as a whole. But it still should be fun. And again, get y'all's predictions in. You see the forum. It will, of course, be in the comment section down below once these streams conclude. And I'll post them once again on my YouTube as well tomorrow morning, or this morning, guys. It's literally Friday here on the East Coast. So thank y'all once again for tuning into an insane edition, once again, of a very unique open conversation with a little bit of back and forth, tit for tat, balancing and humoring one another. As always, seriously, didn't think anything but. Let's go around the horn and get the fuck out of here, shall we? First and foremost, JJ, it has been far too damn long since we've done this, and I missed our conversations. There's a reason we'll never fully agree, but I'm damn sure glad that we never will. And let's go ahead and plug them out where the people can find you and what's ahead too here at the SRS for that matter, and just for you.
Well, you can find me on X at ROWJJ Williams and Casa D18 Studio. No S at the end of Casa D18 Studio on the X. That's where you'll find me hosting and participating in spaces when I have the time to. You can subscribe to me on YouTube at Casa D18 Studios. Find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams. Of course, subscribe to SR Studios 2024, where you can vote in the first annual Simply Reliable Studios Awards. Babyface of the Year has now closed. Heel of the Year voting will open up tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. And for those of you that are subscribed to the channel, you've probably noticed that some videos have been trickling out. As now that I am in a new environment and a much better headspace and everything, I can actually get back to creating content.
Thank Christ.
And not only is content coming out on the regular side of things, but for the first time in forever, a members only video dropped.
Ooh.
It is a pilot episode, if you will, for what could become a regular show. I am tentatively calling the show Same Story, Different Song. And the concept is finding two songs that sound like they go together to make one full story.
Wow.
Whether it's the same artist, there's a future episode that I'm going to do that is two Beatles songs, both written by Paul McCartney, that I feel tell the same story. Or if they're completely different artists, there's a future episode that I'm going to do where I take George Strait and Garth Brooks songs to make one cohesive story. Or it might even be a familial connection, as the episode that went up was, where I took a Billy Ray Cyrus and a Miley Cyrus song.
Oh, jeez.
And put them together to see if they tell one story.
Wrecking Ball and Achy Breaky Heart.
Ready, Set, Don't Go and Party in the USA. You laugh, but if you think about it, and if you subscribe to the members only section, you'll hear me go deep into it. But if you think about it, Billy's song is about Miley leaving home to start her Hannah Montana journey.
Yes.
First line of Party in the USA is hopping off the plane at LAX with her dreams in a cardigan.
It's got me there.
So are the two songs the same story? I go deep into it. I break down the lyrics. I've actually gotten some feedback from the non-visual half of Los Domingos is. Shout out to Arlene.
Well, the Domingos
You'll recently rejoined the members only section so that he can watch the exclusive video. Thank you again, Emmanuel, for that.
Yeah, power tomorrow.
So the episode that is up for the members probably won't premiere for everybody until the beginning of the year, just because I've got stuff that I'm doing and want to do through the holidays. I want to have more Christmassy type of content. So if you want to see it before it premieres to everybody, it's only $5 to subscribe to the members only section. And I don't want to promise anything that I can't deliver, but I will more than likely have the other two episodes that I just talked about, the Beatles one and the Garth Brooks George Strait one, up before the end of the year on the members only side so that you can see those before they all premiere to the general public. So,
All right. Well, again, I'm very happy to hear you getting back to that passion and all the best in that. And some of that stuff sounds quite interesting. So, looking forward to hearing more from that and what else is to come. As of course, we'll also continue what we do here in collaboration with the Super Lab Studio. So, thank you,
yes.
JJ.
Yes,
Charles,
I will say also I did enjoy doing the watch along with Walter this afternoon evening.
yes.
We didn't have the same issue that you guys had using the CW app. I think it might be because we're both on the West Coast and you're East Coast.
That makes sense.
Maybe there was a little bit of an issue, but we went to commercial at the same time. We had the same length of commercial breaks. There wasn't an issue for us. So we know how to do it. Tentatively speaking, and Walter and I need to confirm this, but it's looking like we're going to do Gold Rush Week 2 at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on Saturday, the 29th, ahead of Survivor Series War Games.
Okay.
Just because I work on Wednesday, Thursday is Thanksgiving, so not going
Right.
to do it on Thanksgiving.
Fair
I
enough.
work on Friday.
Mm.
So the first opportunity for us to do it would be Saturday.
Saturday. Or Saturday. All right. Fair
So,
enough. Appreciate that. And I'm glad you all had fun. And again, folks, if you haven't already, subscribe to the Rage of Wrestling, the tired man who's permanently tired, Walter Cruz, who will eventually insert coin and continue not only leveling up his content, but leveling up in gaming, including me and Lee, our Will of Fortune rematch, and Charles Schultz on a side scroller beat him up, which is one of the longest overplayed genres of video games ever. That just came out with a new one that's pixelated that I'm going to get for PlayStation because I'm a sucker for that type of style.
and I do one other thing. As much as I give you crap for stat, and you give me crap in return for Thea, I swear to God, I did not know how badly I needed Joe Hendry and Thea Hale as a tag team until it was given to me. Because
Fair enough.
everything they've done over these last few weeks, going back to the pies in Chelsea and Ethan's faces, and Chelsea talking about how she's never been creamed like that, to the Instagram reel TikTok videos that they've been posting of them working out together, to them coming out at Gold Rush with Joe Hendry putting a line at the start of his music about say her name and she appears, I believe in Thea, and then going into his theme song. The color coordination, everything about them, it's very much the same way I felt about Ethan Page and Chelsea. I didn't know how badly I needed them as a team until I got them, and now I'm hoping they never break them up as a team. I haven't seen this much energy from Thea since she was in Chase University. It's the Spitfire Thea that I have missed for so long.
Well, I believe that you will hopefully get what you deserve out of Thea Hell and Joe Hendry for the duration. And maybe I'll even go on WWE Matches on YouTube and check out that match because that sounds actually intriguing. Well,
It
thank you
was the
for that.
first match, so if you go, even if you go to the CW app and watch it, and I know how you feel about the CW app, but it's the first match. You know, you get through the first match, and then you shut the fucking thing off.
I'm pretty sure WWE matches will be easier because again, I have YouTube
Maybe.
Premium or the CW YouTube channel will probably have it on full because again, they know people don't watch the CW. But it does sound interesting, legitimately. So I will definitely check that out after their Hawani interview. So thank you. That being said, Manuel, again, you recently got into the world of YouTube content creation. I'm sure we'll collab in game at some point. So why don't you go ahead and remind the people what you do and where they could find you, and also Arlene for that matter, social medias too. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry for the subscribers of interacting games and movies. The stream ended abruptly, but I gotta give you the link of the second part of the predictions for you guys. If you guys are interested in playing the game of life too, or Clue, just give me a notice. I want to play. It's free. It's a free app on the phone. It's really free. You don't have to do anything. Just all you have to do is like we could have a Discord channel up, and we could commentate and talk about wrestling. We could talk about anything, and we just play the board game by itself. It's easy as that. Right now, I have the Sims 3 randomizer legacy challenge, which is basically I have a wheel dictating how my Sims person lives his life, what they want. I already got mad at one of the one of my real spends, and then I'm currently adding Friday the 13th the review because I want to add some images to the movie to point out my views and the points of the movie. So stay tuned for that. You can follow my sister at ADM7324 for at X, Arlene Dominguez on Instagram, Arlene Dominguez on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook at Emmanuel Dominguez. I have two profiles and EDN7224 in Instagram and on X.
All right, fair enough. Well, thank you for that, Emmanuel. And again, good luck with the continued content creation. We'll definitely collab soon down the line. Might even have you down the line for a simple session. All right,
Yeah.
Charles. Well, that being said, Calabunga, dude, you lasted the whole duration. You had quite a time. This is the first time I really think you really came out of your shell here on Sid the Predicting, and I was quite impressed with you. Go ahead briefly and tell where the people can find you.
No pun intended. Okay, I see what you did there. You can all follow me on X under Tweet Talk Random. So there you go.
All right, fair enough. And again, I'm
And
sure
someday, Manuel, I'm gonna try to find your channel and actually watch the show because you got me damn curious now with the Friday 13 stuff.
there you go.
You got me
Yeah.
curious.
Got a new subscriber coming in.
I know, right? But yeah, I'll give a small portion of the spoiler. Some of the kills does not make sense because
Oh,
it's true. It's true.
Uh-oh, you
Like
got JJ turn his head. Oh no,
be,
here we go.
because there's a certain scene where you see Bill getting hanged up on the door with arrows on the door hanging. Are you telling me Mrs. Voorhees is that strong enough to hold Bill, most likely always, or like nail him on the door? No, that smells Jason right there. That, and then the sequels are saying that Jason was there for the when the mom died, Mrs. Voorhees. So that means Jason had to be alive in the first part of the movie.
Okay, well, that content aside, I'm sure Charles and JJ will debate you on that later or leave a comment. And there you go, folks. It's just some of the taste of what you can get if you, of course, subscribe today to interactive games and movies right here on YouTube. Again, you literally are looking at one of the streams that is on that channel right now, this very stream here. So, the predicting. Emmanuel, thank you. All right, well, that being
Yeah.
said, if people want to find me, I'm antisocial, I'm introverted, but I lead these panels with these yahoos, sometimes moderate the Saturday shenanigans too, and I'm calling practically everything anymore. Damn it, impromptu. You can find me and Foz 1916 on X and on YouTube, for I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it. And again, I truly just humor everything at the end of the day. Me and JD, it's always nothing but love. At the end of the day, stay tuned for what's ahead here at the Simple Studios. We got watch-alongs for House of Glory. Again, we're going to be covering AEW Full Gear this Saturday. It will shift whether 11 p.m. Standard Time or midnight into Saturday shenanigans as Mametoli Khan gives us another endurance, so please stay tuned. And of course, following that next week, just be grateful, treasure your families, be thankful, enjoy a feast. Stay tuned when we cover NXT Gold Rush Week 2, and also when we cover AEW Thanksgiving Day Dynamite, the start of the Continental Classic. I might even do a preview of the Continental Classic if I get the blocks known, and who knows, maybe I'll get Ash involved, or at least put on her channel so you all can expect Ash to probably talk about that more down the line. Speaking of our Canadian friend, Ash, if you haven't already, don't be a dickhead. She was in the chat. Appreciate her always. Subscribe to Bag for Wrestling Today. You can follow her at Shabbat Ash on the X and subscribe to Bag for Wrestling. You're literally watching it, the stream right now on her channel. Hit that button. Don't be a dickhead. And speaking of Ash, her and the other fellow fair lady of the Super Reliable Studios, Datilla, our Mighty Morphin Pink Power Ranger. When it's wrestling time at Rangers of Wrestling, her and Ash will soon be starting their own podcast together. So stay tuned for a little bit of girl power here at Super Reliable Studios for future content across Rangers of Wrestling and Batty for Wrestling. Other stuff coming up for me. The next simple session will be Datilla, date to be determined. And then episode 5, stay tuned. And again, I'll be doing super dating for WWE WWE Survivor Series Friday after Thanksgiving, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After SmackDown concludes, and will of course be covering Survivor Series the following Saturday as we wrap up the month of November and head to the final month of the year, December. Also, because this will be the last event in the WWE PLE Predictions League of 2025, me and Papadino will be doing predictions post-mortem on WWE, where not only we talk about the statistical analysis of the Survivor Series, I will disclose this year's winners of the WPL League for the team and galaxy of No DQ, so good luck to everybody. As this is the second event of the AEW Predictions League, there are no more leaderboard updates until this league concludes. So again, where you stand right now, mentally track your score, and good luck to everybody involved, whether new, continuing, first time, or debuting, in and out of the team or in and out of the galaxy and the All Elite Fleet. I hope that you all have fun and continue simply predicting. That's all I got to say for now. As I remind you, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans and friends with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, get that comment off. Support one another. Stop it. Support one another. Subscribe to support one another. Wow, that's fucking hell. God damn it. Support one another. Respect
Little
each other.
tongue-tied there, Noah.
I was about to say, not the first time. Protect your mentality too. Treasure your families and just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling, no matter how much they piss you off. It's as simple as that. And again, Ash, remember the ways of the simple man. And you and I can always chat privately to do anything together or just have a chat. It's truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again, y'all, for tuning into another rousing edition. This is one of the most fun times I've had a long time on this type of session here on To The Predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bells, videos, live on demand on any of the channels you see this stream here, or any of the channels and the friends and the families of the Super Reliable Studios. And hit the subscribe button. I can't say it enough. Subscribe, eh? And don't believe it in that. And again, our passion, the content creativity is not going to let up anytime soon. For all
I just want to point out something to you, Noah.
Go ahead.
We went almost as long as Full Gear is going to run.
When you literally turn simply predicting into a construction criticism of the wrestling business that turns into a modified podcast, and some point my freaking headset goes to jack shit, apparently this is what happens. And again, I appreciate all you. I hope this was a feast of a conversation that you all enjoyed too. For JJ, for Nick Ferrantes, for Mrs. Ferrantes, for Emmanuel and Arlene Dominguez, for Charles, Safet with the newest hashtag apparently, damn it, for our Canadian friend Ash, for everybody that's tuning in live or on demand as we approach the Thanksgiving season. If we don't see you this weekend, until the next time, make a positive impact in life and have a good night. And thank you for tuning in to another insane edition of Simply Predicting Anything But. Have a good night, folks, and enjoy this weekend as we head into Full Gear. God help us. And until next time, don't be a Twitter twat, and Mercedes Moné will never win the AEW Women's World Championship. Thanks for watching.
Vote for Noah by elegance.
Yes. We need no elegance.
No, never happening. Never.
Believe
never.
in Chase U.
No,
Indeed.
never believe in Chase U. Never.
Believe in Joe Hendry.
God damn it, Jay, you
Say his
freaking.
name and he appears. I
No music,
believe in
huh?
Joe Hendry.
Okay, I go.
You fucking
Say
moron.
his name and he appears.
Stop
I
it.
believe in Joe Henry. Do,
Copyright.
do. I
Copyright.
believe in the
I don't know if I believe in that. You're
I
having a nightmare this
believe in
afternoon.
Noah by elegance.
I will never believe in that. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm hitting the button.